And I think we are live. We are live with some amazing information. I got my co-log here, Kazoo, because a lot of the information I'm going to be talking to you about had a lot to do about Kazoo. Don't worry about his reactions. He's never excited. I saw his first smile when he started watching Alex Jones' show yesterday. And there's some amazing news coming out related to my research. And I'm very happy to finally be able to say that for the first freaking time in our lives, the UFO story is pointing to the moon. And that for me is what I've been waiting for not ages since I've been doing the research, because it's never, ever been anything that the UFO report had anything to do with the moon, right? Even though I'm positive it has only to do with the moon, basically, mostly, not only, but mainly to do with the moon. Now there's a lot coming out in the news. And of course, when I went camping, I was so excited when I got back to see that, boom, I woke up this morning, hours before the stream, and now they're talking about the possibility of there being an intelligent being. I'm not kidding you. Intelligent being living inside of the moon. Okay. And they're exiting the moon, the UFO lights, through slits. Gulp. Have you ever heard anybody else talk about that? Seriously? That's why I'm ecstatic. Of course, you know why I'm excited. I'm waiting for this for years. At one point, I was waiting for them to mention the water. They did last year. So it's starting to come out. I believe that the UFO report is on hold because they're not talking about what's happening on the moon. This is going to be a stream where, yes, there's only going to be 30 people probably watching, because what I'm going to talk about, well, it's quite simply that they're vetting me. They're revealing that what I'm seeing on the moon could actually be a possibility. I've been following quite a few now Harvard professors, and some of them doing many studies in the field of ufology. There's studies, hypotheses that are coming out now, and it's by people that are highly placed in Harvard. Some are credible, some probably incredible. But you know that there's an interagency battle where people are fighting on the inside. So you have the secret being held on the inside in one office, like room one, and room two is trying to bring out the truth. And some of these people are getting fired. Most of them can't talk because they have gag orders, like we hear at Trump, clearances, right? So people in big positions that have a lot of data that they go through, they can't freely talk about that data. They're gonna, they'll be arrested, right? So that's what's going on. There is an interagency battle now. Ross Coulthard at News Nation. When I came back, I said, I can't believe it. They're finally talking about the UFO lights around Earth being the beings in the moon. So I've been telling you guys for years that, and that I believed it was that. Of course, hypothesis theorizing myself based on visual confirmations that we have. There's an expression, cameras don't lie, humans do, right? So when you're visually looking at something on a camera and someone tells you you're looking at artifacts, or you're looking at visual distortions or optical illusions, because they talk about it a lot on the moon, about the optical illusion. The reason why we don't see elevation on the moon is because of the libration. Some of these things I believe, right? Like, I guess it it's not about believing or not. It's about just listening. I think I'll be honest with you guys. Listen and look at what's happening. Look at what people are bringing out, and you're going to see the fights on the inside. Listen to what they're fighting about. It's all about money, eh? It's all about money, and you can really see everything's coming out. And the coincidence or not, whether you're religious or not, the fact that they say that we would be living in times of revelations now, holy crap! Don't you find that it's spot on? I believe it's spot on because they're deliberately following the Bible, and that's a coded book for future events that are going to happen, that maybe, it's an interesting book. Theologists, you know, study religion and stuff. But the problem is that the translations that come out about religion is, and you might think I'm off subject, but I'm really not. What did I talk about a couple of streams back is the merging of it's happening, guys. I had chills this morning and a little bit of a shake because I am excited about the beings living on the moon. I do believe that they are here. Listen, they're buzzing the nuclear silos. It's confirmed, and now the U.S. the defense is afraid that it could be actually that they could be a danger. Right? They still have not confirmed whether it was a foreign adversarial country or whether it was something alien to us or literally alien. There's also talk about them possibly disguising themselves and living amongst us. Another thing I recently talked about is the camouflage and the cloaking mechanisms. I don't like saying device. I like saying mechanism because I believe it's a whole slew of several things to be able to obscure the lunar surface. And I'm so excited to talk about it. I believe that it has to do partly with light, has to do partly with the smoke, right? And natural or not, like look at here when it's pouring rain and there's high humidity and everything's always evaporating. I saw it at the camping all day long, the smoke rising up, and I couldn't help but thinking, damn it, it could be even raining on the moon, and that's all just every time the sun comes up, it just all that evaporation bringing everything up. I know most are going to say, well, that sounds totally stupid because yes, I agree with you because in microgravity, where there's no oxygen, they say that there's no photosynthesis. They say that there's no combustion. They say that there's no light scattering. But the problem is, and I'm not the only one that talked about this one, is that light scattering has been seen. There are astronauts that even talk about having seen light scattering during the sunrise when they were on the surface of the moon. And people just sit there and fight all about whether the stars are real, not real, but whether the stars are, why can't we see them in the images and stuff? There's so much manipulation that can be done with a camera, but whatever is manipulated on the surface, like all that light that's there, well, you can use a camera to get rid of that light, to cut through it, and it's sort of like a tool, a weapon yourself that you're fighting and combating through the lunar veil, right? Is what I called it many years ago when I met up with John Lear, not in person, unfortunately, but talked to him on several occasions, and the obscuring of the surface, there's not just a camouflage, canopies, tarps. I talked about that too. Even one this afternoon mentioned it. There could be canopies up there. Yeah. They could be just covering like MASH, like a stupid MASH movie where they're covering certain areas that make it look forested, right? I posted a recent image in my community that I took only a couple of weeks ago of the vegetation, what looks like vegetation or fauna or whatever is up there. I think it's a bit more than just moss and small little organisms. As for vegetation up there, it looks like completely covered in a forest and even what looks like big trees. Go and look at the image in the community, which is actually the Apollo 17 landing site is just to the right of that square and not in Mons Argeas, like a lot of people think. It's just between the square and Mons Argeas. You got 6 lines going to light sources there, and it's going into a forested, I believe, a forested area, and meaning everything that would be under that forested or covered area, if it's forest or not, snow or not, it would hide the surface. So no one's ever seen the surface of the moon. We've seen the tops of the mountains. You're seeing the clouds that are just wavering over the tops of the mountains, So honestly, here's a good one. Everyone was talking to me about, the Chandra's telescope. That's NASA's telescope, and just JAXA or whatever, whoever's involved in this, a Starliner. We'll talk about this first. Chandra in the news recently saying that they can't use the X-ray part of Chandra. So Chandra's fate is uncertain, carries the hopes of X-ray astronomers across the globe, but a technical issue is holding it back from achieving its potential. And as I always believe, there's a little trap door that won't open. Imagine the theory of an alien civilization decides to tease humans because they're already here. I already know that we sent New Horizons out. And once it gets over there, will you just go and you turn off the communication without destroying the satellite, without, giving any sign of, us idiots here on Earth waiting for, communication back from these satellites up to 20, 30 days. I don't know how long it takes to get information back. Some take years, right? Voyager 1, Voyager 2 that are out there, they encountered problems also when they crossed outside of the warm part of the sun's heat, right? Which is in deep space. Pew, crossed over. What they're telling us and what's actually happening, we'll probably never know. But what do you think is going to come from that study at Harvard, which I'm going to read completely to you? Very exciting. What do you think is going to come from that? And how long do you think it's going to take for everyone to turn around and look at NASA and say, well, if they're on the moon, didn't you see them? And now the whole story is going to change. But I do believe that it was already prévu. It was already written in the text that, well, we'll wait till 2030, 2025, depending on what happens. Maybe even depending on the climate change, because climate change has caused many large businesses and associations here running the world to do a lot of changes because they know what's coming, and they're not telling us. And maybe there's more changes, devastating changes than we actually think. And I want to thank all of you because over the years, those of you that keep coming back here, you guys have been listening to me. Every time there's a new capture, I bring it out. We have all this older research, which is only a couple of years old, to go back and look at. And every time something in the news happens, like just now, you don't think I'm going to be showing you all the freaking lights lifting up from the back and again coming out of slits on the moon? Do you understand why I'm showing that often? And you can't repost a video on YouTube that's the same. All of you know that, right? A lot of people think that, well, we can just repost the same old videos and stuff. No, but I'm definitely going to repost lots of those bases. I'm not going to show the sinus iridium base once and get 1,000 views and then drop it. But that's how it gets interesting, because we can go back, make bigger videos and stuff. And it's exciting with the news that's coming out right now about the UFOs. I'm so excited. I'm like a child. Honestly, I'm just like a child. It's been years. I've been waiting for one person to talk about the moon. And I talk about it all the time, but I'm not being heard. And now on the news, if they mention, well, the UFOs could be on the moon, what do you think people are going to start saying? Well, maybe Bruce was right? And maybe I'll start getting a bit more traffic. But I actually believe that now the traffic is really going to cut down now, because David Grush is on hold. Luis Elizondo on hold. As a matter of fact, Bob Lazar has been on hold since the 80s. Nobody gets through, right? It's always been. So you can get famous or you can get known a little bit. I'm far from being famous, but am I noon in the ufology community? Well, is there a ufology community on YouTube? Like, not really, right? Like, you have UFO channels and stuff, but is there a community? No. I've never met any UFO community on YouTube. The UFO community is corrupt. You got MUFON, you have DARPA doing, CIA, FBI, MOUSE, everyone, Disney too. Everyone's involved in this space research, and we're the ones paying for it. We're paying for absolutely everything. And it's sort of a big hush-hush secret, but it really shouldn't be a hush-hush secret. The fifth helium leak detected on Starliner. So that's another thing in their propulsion system. Just wanted to shoot that one in there. NASA confirmed that Boeing's CST-100 Starliner spacecraft has suffered a fifth, although minor, they say, helium leak in its propulsion system as engineers work to prepare the vehicle for its return to Earth next week. Little news again. Shoot that in there once in a while. I had like 10, 15 posts opened up because there's so much to look at. We can't look at everything. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. And I missed you all while I was at camping. Luke, how's it going, brother? Thanks, man. I'm doing good, man. Shoulder getting a little better. Burnt, man. We had a good time, but I froze everybody that came. I froze their asses off. They had to live through hell. Honestly, we had Pat there, Kassar, saving us with the trailer, offering coffee to everyone and stuff like that. We had fun. We had a lot of fun, but it would have been a lot more fun having beautiful, weather. We would have made a lot of footage and film. I expected on getting hours and hours of footage, but it's okay. There'll be more at times that we go back and more events. Absolument. La cuvée des trolls. J'ai pas pu m'en empêcher hier soir à Léos, puis je me suis réveillé aujourd'hui à 11h30. La cuvée des trolls, 7,5%. Elias got me a beautiful bottle of, I guess, a beer or something. It was sort of like almost like a champagne beer. And it said the kind was the troll type of beer, right? So we had a little bit of fun of that, talking about the channel, the attacks and stuff like that. But we basically talked about the rain, Luke, the whole damn time that we were there. We got rain and it was really cold for everyone. Listen, I didn't complain. I stayed in my car. I looked like hell, but Pat offered me his trailer day one. There was no reason for me to be. It's not like you guys think I was stuck. Everyone offered me their tents. Alex's family, Alex himself, everyone offered me, hey guys, no problem. Come and sleep in the tents, whatever. It was really cool. It was funny. I brought the wrong poles, but I don't have any other poles. So I sort of wondered why my poles just don't fit anymore. And maybe it was the last drunken stupor from the last camping. I don't remember where I put the poles, but it was funny. So literally, I was going to wait a day to put up the tent, and I didn't. And Elias said, no, put it up now, man. And I said, well, it's going to rain tonight, guys. And he says, yeah, well, it's going to rain every day. I said, yeah, that's right. So I'll put it up. Took it out, put the first pole in. It was 10 times too long, and that was it. Just sat at the picnic table for 4 days. I got in 3 hours of sleep. It was all in one night. One night, the night before leaving, I was actually able to get 3 hours in. It was just like, I was sitting down and I started getting neutral. People were telling me jokes and I found them funny, but I wasn't even laughing. I was like, just brain dead sitting at the picnic table. And I felt so bad for everyone that was there. Honestly, it was horrible. Maybe we had fun. Don't get me wrong. We had a lot of fun, but it was horrible for them. I'm sure people were really cool to come at camp with me, and you guys toughed it out 4 freaking days, seeing me talking about my burning feet for at least 24 hours or 48 hours at one point. It was bad. Humidity was very bad. Everything was always soaking wet. Socks weren't drying no matter what. But we did have a hell of a lot of fun. How are you, my friend? It's Luke from the Republic of Ireland. It's nice to see you. Enjoyed yourself camping. Was thinking of you. We're thinking of you too, man. It would have been nice if you could have come down, Luke. Maybe in a couple of years that the governments and pandemic and all that protesting will be over. And it'll be just like free for us just to fly down. Because I keep saying it, Luke, if we don't go camping, I want to go to the with your brothers and your dad, man, David. We have to go to an Irish pub. I want you guys to infiltrate me into that. Well, infiltrate me like it's a cult. It has to be. It's on my bucket list. I definitely have to get down there. Thanks, Luke. I really love you for it, man. Monsieur Elias Velhet là, ici depuis 22 mois. Just back from camping with my friend Elias. Oh my gosh, Elias, were you able to work? Don't forget your thumbs up for the channel, peoples. Save cancer baby. Yes, we have to save all the babies with cancer. Hey, don't make me start again. Don't make me start laughing. Yeah. So we had a very interesting trip, I guess we can call it. I was joking before leaving, and I said, imagine, I'd only tried it once when I was young. I said, magic mushrooms. I said, imagine going back there at 50 years old. All of us were approaching 50. We're all about the same age. And trying that and just, playing guitars and experiencing. And anyways, maybe you'll see some videos in the coming days. Jules of Southern Oregon is here. I met God again last weekend. Jules, how are you? Thanks to you, we all know the truth. Well, thanks to you guys for coming to the channel and watching it, because if not, there would not be any support. Jules, thank you so much for the generous contributions in so many ways, for the memberships and everything. The research will not stop. We got UFOs possibly leaving inside of Earth, guys, going to the moon, leaving the inside of the moon. Beautiful terms are being used, like we use here as spiritual beings, angelic beings. And often we don't fight, but we debate a lot about angels and demons here, right? Well, angels and demons, I believe they both exist, and there are people coming to and from here. So if it's not necessarily that they're from the moon, there could also be some, as you all know, interdimensional coming, elsewhere. I wanted Gary McKinnon to come on the show, and I'm sure he will, but he's so busy right now and he can't come on and talk about his story till 2025. So I reached him yesterday, and the first time I met Gary McKinnon, you all know Gary McKinnon, right? Back 2002, hacked into NASA's server, got caught, and then whoop, he was trying to warn them that the server was crap and stuff like that. So his story is out there. If you don't know Gary McKinnon, I posted his link in the community. So yesterday I reached him, he responded right away. The guy was a quick on his feet to respond. And I asked him, I said, Gary, I'd love to have you on to talk about a bit of my research and again, his story. He came and commented years back about my research and said that he would be interested in knowing a bit more about it and seeing more about it. This guy there, I want him to see my research because he knows a lot about NASA. And if he is looking at everybody's research, maybe he's going to save something. Like, you know what I mean? I want everything exposed. So the more he knows about craft that's there, maybe one of my craft is something that he would have seen on the NASA server, for example. And of course, there's probably obviously a lot that he can't say. But if you haven't met him before, he's known as many ways. I know him as a friend and a smart guy, but everyone calls him a hacker, right? But he is. Right? He was, but he stopped. Even after he had gone into the NASA server, he didn't do it, but somebody went and, as he said, tapped his shoulder, which was very interesting. We're talking here about non-terrestrial beings, right? Well, that term I got from Gary McKinnon. And when Gary McKinnon, and one of his videos, he was at the comedy cast, they had him up talking about, ask him incredible questions. All these videos, I'm so disappointed at the little bit of views that they get, because in reality, everyone in the world, even Linda Moulton Howe, think of all the ones that are yapping about wanting to know the truth about everything going on. Why don't they mention these people? For me, when you see real information out there, like Gary McKinnon or something, and that nobody's really mentioning them, well, it's because they want the secret hidden. No one's going to say, oh, yeah, sure, he was seeing a whole bunch of stuff on the server. And it's the terms non-terrestrial. And he said something that I probably would have thought of eventually, but I didn't think of right away. I assumed non-terrestrial, aliens, extraterrestrials. But he said it doesn't mean necessarily that it's an extraterrestrial term. It could mean that there are humans here that are in lower Earth outside with a craft and are flying around, and that would be considered non-terrestrial astronauts, right? Because it's humans that are not working on la Terre, terrestrial object, right? So that's another interesting thing. So I asked him, would you come on, please, with me on the show? And well, good news and bad news. The good news is I asked him, I said, and can I mention this to my community that I talked to you? He said, of course you can mention it. People use these people as trophies, right? Like, I'm always very careful when I talked about John Lear, when I talked about Gary McKinnon. So people just say, he's just saying that he knows him because he wants people to come to his channel. No, but I do want people to see the research. So Gary McKinnon is coming out in a grand way in 2025. I didn't ask him whether it was a documentary or film, but there's a big doc probably coming out, or film coming out about him in 2025. I don't know when. And when that does happen, he is going to be obviously booked with interviews. Obviously, I won't be able to get him first, but it's just as a friend, I want him to come on. I want to talk to him within 15 minutes, half an hour, the time that he will. So yes, in the near future, in 2025, our friend Gary McKinnon will most definitely get a chance to stop by and talk with us, because I really want you all to meet him. And for those of you that don't know Gary McKinnon, please check it out. Okay. Check the guy out of who he is, the story. It's badass. Okay. Really badass. And this guy wasn't, not a spy for anyone. He was just himself able to get in, and told him that, it was crap. Mr. Pat C, back in the house, man. Let's go camping again in the rain. It was a blast. Yep, it was. It was. Well, I'm thinking, hey, Pat, next time I'm thinking snow. I'm thinking in the snow, or in a tornado, to try to see which tent lasts the longest. We had to make more videos like, so one of you should have made a video of somebody bringing a coffee cup to the destroyed tent, my tent lying down. He did. Pat one morning said, I don't know if Bruce is there. I don't see him. We had fun. We did have fun, considering it was in the rain. Absolutely had fun. Pat, I want to thank you again, man, for your hospitality. It should be me that made that, a reunion, and everyone says, "Oh, thank you, Bruce, for having us over." No, it's me that's thanking you all for having made it so friggin' easy in the rain. And Pat, lifesaver on many ways with the tarp and stuff. If not, you wouldn't have even seen a 15-minute music video on it. Didn't feel very musicy, I tell you. Was worried about water falling inside of the guitars. Elias got drenched 2 or 3 damn times when somebody went into the back, lifted up the the tarp to let the water run out. But where Elias was sitting at the end, it started to be on mud on the ground, so it was flat, muddy surface. And when the water would fly down in the mud, it would fly up on each side of Elias. And he was just so polite, saying, "Well, I just got soaked again." And you could see in all of our faces, we're all like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're tough. Fuck, I can't wait to go." Basically, it was horrible. We didn't leave. I wouldn't have left, but man, I'm telling you, day 3, a couple of us started mentioning it. Well, we don't have to stay 4 days, and it started. The hell started, and here I'm sitting here thinking of, people that are at war, walking with their wet fucking feet, that have only been there for about 11 days or 12 days. How freaking horrible it is. We all know, you could be the strongest guy in the world. You bust your nail or you stub your toe and you can't walk anymore. And that's where you see how primitive or sensitive that humans are. It always makes me laugh. Man, thanks again, Pat, for everything. And thanks for being here as always. Darla, thank you very much. I love you for it. $1.11. And that is awesome. See, guys, you can donate $1. Christmas comes along. Hey, I'll give $1 to Bruce. He's a funny ass. He's worth $1. And you do it. I have Twitter here. I have YouTube here, and I have Rumble here. We made it on a Rumble to 1,000 followers. I thank you very much for having helped me get to 1,000 followers. And by 2030, we will be booming close to 2,000. I'm positive 2,000 viewers and people watching. And that's only the suppression. That's only the suppression because of, David Grush not coming out. They're paying, the elites are paying a lot of money for AI to be blocking everything out. Those of you that came camping with me, did you get the ads on the way back? Camping hats, Coleman lamps. I had Coleman tents that they were offering me, warm socks that you can put batteries in for camping that they were trying to sell me. They were selling me. Pat has an amazing cot. It's a military cot. That you can set it up in the friggin' snow. And like I told you guys, I was complaining about my tent being down, but I can't say it enough. Pat offered me a room as of day one. Everyone offered me a room and stuff. I said, no, I'm going to live it up hard. I said, I'll take 2 or 3 beers and I won't worry about it. I'll just sit out and watch the stars. There were no stars. There was rain. And there was so much rain that mosquitoes didn't even want to come by. Some people get bitten all the time. I think Pat's like me. I just saw Pat. Everyone was sitting here all the time. A couple of people were like, shh, shh, with the off. I got sick the first time I went camping with the off. I mean, just made me sick. I couldn't put it on me at all. For those that want to know, right now, Starlink is launching 22 satellites. There's only been 60 sent up this year. So what are the 2,000 UFOs that I filmed the past few weeks? So SpaceX launching another 22 satellites today, right now, just 4 minutes ago, Eastern time, they launched. Hauser is in the house. Thank you very much, Mr. Sabinator. So it was a bit of a wet one, huh? Yeah, it was soaking. It was soaking. It was hard on I don't stop saying it. It was hard on people. I think it's cool that everybody came and toughed it out with me in the rain. We were even excited to say, hey, we're going to get a lot of lightning. Pissed me off because there was something, Alex and I were filming. There was something incredible coming, the storm, as you saw on him too. He posted the same beautiful, massive cloud. I would have wanted more lightning strikes. Like, I was sure it would have gotten like 3, 4, 5 strikes. I think Alex got some, but I didn't get any because it was just, there was not enough activity. We saw UFOs. Some, I'm not going to vouch for them. Pat, I feel bad not having woken him up, but for 15 minutes, it was a clearing. We did see that the dipper was so effing low. It's like in my house, same thing here, the sky in Ormstown. It was incredible, the low dipper, and the Corona Borealis was up over us. I said, you watch, the light's going to start appearing from there. And they did, and they started moving around. And I saw, I think Elias saw 3 or something. I saw 4 or 5. It was pretty cool. So at least Alex, Stephanie, I think they saw some too. I think Stephanie thought more. I think it's more maybe their satellites or whatnot. Like, I have full respect for what everybody thinks, but at least it's interesting to see that the lights are there, and the governments are now saying that angelic beings could possibly be living here. As a matter of fact, guys, I'm not there yet for the dinosaur descendants, because they're saying aliens, extraterrestrials, could be descendants of intelligent dinosaurs. I'm not there yet, okay? But yet people are going to believe that before they believe that I say something's on the moon, Guys, maybe you guys, some of you, I know a lot of you here know it, but maybe most of you don't. Never, ever has any UFO report ever mentioned the moon, right? There's no talk of any, there's talk actually of plenty of other celestial objects that there's UFOs on, even, aliens on Mars. Hayim Eshed, retired former defense minister of Israel, before it went all haywire. Well, actually, things have always been the way they were. It's just that now we're seeing some of the parts, but they've always been doing what they're doing in the background. Hayim Eshed said there's a hybrid alien, not human or alien, but mixed, that live inside of Mars. So now they're talking about aliens possibly living inside of the moon. I got a smirk, big ass smirk. I got a Joker smile this morning all day, because they're talking about the moon. And for the first reason, Bruce says, any reason for my motor? Well, now we're starting now. So what? Now you don't have a wrench? I have no idea, bro. Sorry about it. I have no friggin' idea. Hey guys, not enough problems happening, I guess, Hauser, here on the channel. I can't see with my StreamYard who has a wrench, actually. Actually, no, that's not true. I can't. I see it. Did you have a wrench, Hauser? On this channel? Or I thought you had one only on Rumble. I'll double check later to see if it was taken off. Wayne in the house. We're down about 100 subs anyways. Feels good to get rid of the troll fuckers, eh? And that's what happens. They come and they unsubscribe the channels. They should always unsubscribe all the channels. I'd love to see them bring me down to 10.1 thousand. See how that works. Because in reality, the research is here. It has nothing to do with the subs. Sure, it's nice to get subs and it's nice to look the channel's growing, but it doesn't matter. Yes. Yeah, I had some sleep. Bruce is less of a bitch. The darkness was driving me mad. At one point, I couldn't see inside of the car. Then I lost this, and then I lost that. Then I couldn't see this, and then I actually brought my sun filter over there in the camping. It's in the car now. I have to go get it in the car. It's an SD card I went and got last night. Yeah, Count. He was our little troll was very upset. Poor guy. Thinks that we know each other. Sabinator can't believe YouTube made it again. Yeah, pride emoji. That was funny. We should all be getting along, eh? When it thinks of that. 10 cent. Hello, Bruce, and everyone. Early morning. 6:28. Off to work. I'll listen while driving. Right on, 10 cent. We have some interesting news coming out. News that I've been waiting for all my time doing the research here. I've never been so excited in my life. Coming on just to say that beautiful piece of information. Scott Robinson. Thanks, man. Yeah, the voice is back too. Actually, since this morning, yes. It was completely gone. First night, singing my ass off, screaming at the car at one point because I couldn't find something. And then talking. I'm not used to, I don't have friends, guys. I don't talk to anyone all day. Next day, no voice whatsoever the next day. I went to the corner store to get something. They were laughing. What the hell's wrong with him? Black eye. Mud on the back of his shirt, soaked in my muddy sandals. I went through so many freaking pairs of shoes and sandals over here. That's something very common. Happens a lot. The wrenches disappear. If anyone else right now has a missing wrench, let me know. Absolutely let me know. I'll double check it out. Ken Ash. Hey, Bruce. Real soon, you're going to be saying, I effing told you so, and laughing your ass off. Ken Ash, it already started, man. Like, honestly, I'm ecstatic, guys. Okay. Just because I got to the point where they mentioned that they could be coming from the inside of the moon. You know what? My research could have had an effect on this. Oh, yeah, I can hear the trolls trying now, especially that one. But I am happy because you see, they don't have to acknowledge Bruce Schwartz to know what's going on. You have artificial intelligent programs, you have surveillance. Everyone's looking at the internet, and when something happens on the internet, it's absolutely visible to everyone that's doing the surveillance and stuff. So I could be exposing something, they'll block me without ever having to reach me or even mention me quite easily. But Ken Ash, it's coming, man. Wait till I read the article. It looks like I'm proud of it. It looks like word for word. They took what I said word for word, that UFOs are coming out of slits on the surface of the moon and that they have an interior base. But you see, there's going to be a little bit of white lies that they're going to say with that. Like, for example, maybe Ross Coulthart knows that the base is Sinus Iridium, but they're not going to mention it. What did I tell you all in 2016? Ken Ash, I'm going to say I fucking told you so. Copernicus crater will be mentioned if ever they admit there's a base there. Sinus Iridium is going to be spoken about too, because there's an actual base there. And in the Apennine Mountains, remember at the beginning of the summer, probably most of you don't, I showed what looked like a harp setup, and it is, with a whole bunch of grid-like lines, okay, all intermingling themselves on the top of the mountain with tunnels going all the way down. There's freaking trains on the moon or transportation that are going through those tunnels. And I'm telling you, a transportation is being done on the surface of the moon. That screw that they're inside of the moon. They're on that fucking surface right there. If I'm outside and when I was taking my pool apart, do you think anyone on the moon's going to see me take my pool apart? No, unless it's someone like Bruce sees all of them. No, I'm sorry, just venting. They're going to see clouds. They're going to see an obscurity, and they're going to see me everything lying down and bent over. So for us to see actual structures on the moon, they would have to be effing large, and they are. They are massive. Salut Stéphanie. Stéphanie, est-ce que tu es reposée? Are you back to your old self? T'es-tu plus relaxed? Stephanie came camping with us also, and we had a lot of fun. She did a lot of hard work. Also, at one point, she stuck on her hat and she started going into the woods while it was raining. Pendant qu'il mouillait, pour aller chercher du bois to go get wood, and came back. And we all said, Elias said it. I think Elias was the first to say it. Do you know, or Alex maybe? Anyway, we all said it. The best fire that we had was the wet wood that we picked up, that she went and picked up in the woods. Okay, with Alex's son, if I'm not mistaken. And we just made the fire, and we were able to get it hot enough. So at night, I tell everyone, at night, guys, tomorrow's the last day. I go to bed. Then I get back up, dried my socks in the car for 15 minutes, came back. We started slapping wood in the fire. I started doing these, putting rocks in the fire to try to get certain pieces of wood standing up so that the flame would rise, like the trade center rise. So the fire goes to the, combustion. That's how it works. But it was so damp and dry that nothing would burn. And at one point, Elias, I'll get into the UFO report right after this. Elias went and got a couple of leftover papers in case the fire died down. But we were both dozing off. This is in the middle of the night, like morning, 3, 4 in the morning, day 4, basically just before we leave. And he starts dozing off. So did I, because I look at him. I remember saying, oh, he's dozing off. I'm tough. And then I went, opened my eyes, and I was head, you wake up with your head between your legs. It must be because you're going, you're starting to go down and you don't realize you're sleeping. And I wake up with my head between my legs. But Elias he put the papers, like 10, 15 papers under his foot, and the fire and the wind had burnt a little line at the end of the papers, and the end of his shoe was starting to burn. So I warned him about it. But if I had been a bad person, I would have, I could have made a video of that, watch his shoe. How long do you think the paper shoe is going to take to burn up? But we started playing little tricks on each other. But it was, I didn't want to do it to Elias. I wanted to go around Elias's tent with a big garbage container that we stuck all the empty beer bottles in, and it was going. So I start going around the tent. I deliberately go down into a ditch. It's 5 a.m. Deliberately go down into the ditch with. I even had a beer in my hand at the same time, and I go down in the ditch with the garbage. But when I went down the ditch with the garbage, it went down fast, and then it kept going, and I ripped out Elias's tent, not pole, but the string that was holding up the back of the tent where his head was sleeping. He goes, hey, I went, oh, fuck. I didn't want to do that. And I just sort of discreetly waited about 30 seconds. And I said, hey, Elias. And I put the pole back in. and then I left gently with the garbage, ding, 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 rattling the garbage. Pat, the day before that, went right up to his tent. 5 a.m. Oh, we had fun. If we hadn't have done that, there would have been no fun at all, I think. But yeah, we set up a radio at one point in Alex's tent, and that's where we heard Alex scream for the first time. Bruce screamed beside his car, but Alex, what the fuck? I remember Alex saying that in a innocent way, as to say, what the hell is going on? Because we had this boombox sort of thing. I brought it over by his tent, hit it between two trees in the back of some leaves and stuff. And then Pat started playing stuff on his thing. We put alarms on. Beep, beep, beep. Evacuate, evacuate. What the fuck? He said. So we kept waking up everyone. And then people just, I think for me, the best part was just funny seeing everyone like day 3, we were deformed. We didn't even look like each other anymore. We were physically deformed. Pat looked great though. Pat looked great because Pat didn't have to stay up till 4 a.m. But he's like me, go to bed early enough, then you get up early in the morning. Well, we did good, but we had so much fun, and we'll be doing it again. Diana, good evening from the Netherlands. Thank you very much. I'm scrolling down here. I know I'm yakking away, guys. Sabinator, thank you so much. Darla, thanks again. Very kind of you. 111, powerful number. Thank you, Darla. Thanks, Sabinator. Did UFOs deactivate U.S. missiles, collect vital information on nuclear arsenals and ICBMs? What did Pentagon Mandarins say? Be looking up the Mandarins. Well, in an in-depth study conducted by a group of knowledge management experts, U.S. Air Force officials, Pentagon Mandarins, and other technical experts have come to the shocking conclusion that aliens have not only visited the United States of America, but they have also conducted a recent, what's that word? Okay, a recce, right? Reconnaissance, I guess, or whatever, on nuclear facilities. They've been over nuclear bomb production facilities, over the nuclear silos, their delivery systems, and again, silos. So there is no more the question of whether aliens exist or not. Now the question is whether they have collected vital pieces of information that may pose a threat to the US in particular and mankind in general. So now the Pentagon's going to want to be gathering up more funds and more money, but that's not going to happen. You know why? Because Congress, and I hope they're going to hold their end to this, not going to be giving any funding the new fiscal year to our friends in the DoD departments, right? Defense departments, DARPA, CIA, FBI, all those mongrels. Okay. All those corrupt groups of people. They're not all corrupt, by the way. I'm telling you, I'm sure most of them aren't. It's the higher ups. They're hiding up on the inside and they need a whole bunch of good people around them doing real jobs. For sure. They can't all be corrupt. That would be scary as hell. But they're not going to get any funding. And they're not going to get any funding at all because see, this money that they were stealing maybe even parts of the Federal Reserve. That's just me, but there's lots of trillions of dollars missing from the Federal Reserve. You can't lose trillions of dollars. You need castles to hold them, that money, right? Because we're not talking just digital here. So where was I at? I lost it. And kind and general information and may pose a threat to the U.S. So yeah, they're not going to get any funding, and they're not going to get any funding for their secret project. So don't forget, the alien retrieval program is going on. They're obviously involved with a whole bunch of foreign countries that they're not talking about, and they're just continuing on and doing so. So UFO experts have found in their decade-long in-depth study of more than 500 UFO sightings that the interest of UFOs changed over the years, from nuclear facilities to their delivery systems, silos, and other places of strategic and technical significance. So in other words, the hidden areas that they have here that humans don't know about, we have spiritual beings that are buzzing around those areas. Now, don't forget, there's even talk about a UFO civilization that lives both on the moon and visiting other civilizations, extraterrestrial, that are here on Earth, angelic or not. I mean, and this is in the news, guys. This used to be something that they never spoke about. They're merging religion with ufology, with paranormal and military and everything. There's going to be what they're already merged, obviously, probably even a code name like Caesar or something, right? But they have this envelope all around the secrecy of it all, so that nobody knows what's going on. But you have the Vatican that knew a whole bunch of stuff. They were doing UFO conferences about alien technology, the popes, back hundreds of years ago. If you can believe that? Okay, hundreds, like 200 years ago, right? I even believe back in the Egyptian times that they were doing that, because there's talk about them. We see it in the ancient hieroglyphs ourselves, vehicles that look like planes and whatnot, which is pretty ridiculous. Retired U.S. air drive workers Sergeant Larry Hancock, knowledge analyst affiliated with Harvard. You're going to hear a lot about Harvard. Don't forget our other one, Lowe, who's talking about scanning the surface of the ocean for alien technology and artifacts and whatnot. It's happening. That's what they're doing. What do you think they wanted to use Chandra's X-ray for? To turn around and beam back and beam a sonde into Earth. They were supposed to do it, but the aliens, if they're there, they're not going to want that to come out. I'm sure they already found out, because they just admitted that Peru and all these places where the Mayan temples are, do you know that they just found over almost 3,000 civilizations that they can see are buried just a couple hundred feet under? This is all coming out. So they know it. The public doesn't know it yet, but we definitely are going to find out. So Harvard's UFO hunting Galileo undertaking, Ian Porritt, together with their analysis group, have found, to their utter surprise, that the UFOs' interests have changed over the years. They compiled their data and published them as UAP Exercise Sample Examine Navy and Public Actions in March this year. So there's a lot of terms that they're using about certain things so that people don't, cannot necessarily relate to what those things are. Mr. Steve Towers, sir, thank you, bro, for being here. Yes, on forum, sir. Thank you very much. I'm the lucky one, Mr. Towers. Steve Towers, CX Man here. Thanks, as always, man, for everything, for being a member, for all the support that you've given this channel. Pretty emotional for me, because it's always the same people. You stuck around, Darla, all the same people that have been supporting the channel have been here, and we really are a small group, and I thank you all so bloody much for that. Right, Alex, lucky number 7, right on. Have you been able to recuperate a little bit, Alex? Boy, man, it was so hard on us. Aleaus, I don't know how he went to work after. He must have been dead tired at work, because I don't know about him there. He wasn't complaining too much about the bones, but I'm sure we were still sore there, especially sleeping on the ground. Must have been, could even have been worse than in my car. Sleeping on the ground, it gets so much humidity, right, Alex? Bonsoir, mon frère. Robin, Phillips, merci beaucoup. It's not been our moon for a long time. Right. Right. Well, the truth is going to come out. I'm telling you guys. Tony, how are you? Boy, I've been talking a lot, eh? So that was the prequel before talking about what was in the bloody news. Thanks so much, Darla. Anika is in the house, so I can see her here at least. Anika has a problem. I got back there with glitches. I couldn't talk to Leah. I couldn't talk to Anika. Maybe it's everything with an Darla, I could, though. Jeez, it's like I'm setting up a cult, eh? Anika, Darla, Leah. No, but I'm sorry about that, Anika. I can't respond to you with the Bruce Sees All channel anymore, but we're having a lot of fun with the trolls because I can switch accounts to be able to reply to her at least. But if any of you are having problems, let me know. Simply Samantha, thank you so much for coming back. How are you? Excuse me. Absolutely 100% certain that they are here and disguising themselves. That's what they're starting to say in the news now. And even some big studies being done in Harvard, Simply Samantha. Keep your eyes in the sky yourself, by the way. I noticed that you've been looking up in the sky, trying to film the sky. After what I saw and filmed a few days ago, the light I was filming was the distraction. Things were moving everywhere. Yeah, but wait, because most of the time you're going to notice you're going to be able to see things. And when you go to film it, sometimes they disappear or they stop. Eventually, it ramps up, is the way I see it. You should start to see a lot more things. Isn't it incredible? Oh yeah, Darla. Well, speak of the devil. No, for sure. You guys are amazing. Okay, so Xander's there. Scrolling down. Scratch. How's it doing, yo bean? Elle était magnifique. C'était un goût prononcé là, qui ont. Yeah, troll beer, Darla. We drank a nice little drink on Limey. It was very good. I had a lot of fun. And we were supposed to share it, all of us. Share it, open like a wine glass and just share it. Le cuvée des trolls. And I tasted that. These microbrewers come up with crazy names. Absolute. Xander says just a mass. So it's exactly that. Bro, I hope you and your wife are doing well. Thanks for being here. And the kids, of course. And I'm hoping you're starting to get some of your papers back from the freaking government. I wouldn't be surprised if you told me you didn't get them back yet. And the microbreweries, they had some here. The End of the World was 9%. They make it. It's a Quebec beer. It's a couple of different beers, but it's really good when they make the beer strong like that. A strong beer, but it doesn't taste strong because I can't stand strong beers. You get a headache. You can't drink more than one strong beer. You'll get a headache. A 6-pack of strong beer, no way in hell. It just head. That's why when you see people get to a certain age, 50s and up and stuff, and they're all drinking 4%, you know why. I'm on the 5 now. I went from the 7, I'm on the 5. I'm close to the 4 now. And I am doing an alcohol fasting. I don't want to see any bottles of nothing for the next month. Okay, maybe I'm pushing it, but no, it could last that long. And I've been fasting. I'm on a 24-hour fast. So if you're wondering why I'm top shape, probably because of that. The fasting always helps. I'll be back to trying a 3-day fasting. It might be a bit harsh, but it's going to help my system, get me back into it. Shoulder still a little sore though. There's age too in all of that, Scratch in the house. I'm scrolling all the way down. Look at all the people here, guys. Thank you very much. There's more people than I thought that were going to be here. 10 giveaway. You have to subscribe to his channel to get a chance to win. Yeah, because Alex day 4 got up and said, anyone want a tent? Yeah, the next time we go camping, we will be in a heated trailer with Wi-Fi, internet, I think, and everything, or a chalet. Terry Berry, thanks again still for being here. Coffee 57 still at 100%. Thank you for being here, Terry. Hey, right on. Appreciate that. Made to work. Wow, a lot of traffic. Bruce, intelligent dinosaurs. That cracked me. Hey, isn't it crazy, Tencent? When they said that, I said, I'm not there yet. An advanced dinosaur race that developed the reptilian races and stuff. That is funny as shit. I'll be honest with you. That sounds crazier than me saying that there's living organisms flying around the moon. Hey, guys, when is that one going to come out? When is that one going to come out? It's all going to come out now. One after the other. I'm positive it's all going to come out one after the other. Facts 1987 is here. Thank you very much. Norma 2021, it's just like YouTube laggy. Sorry about that, guys. That's well said. Je plonge dans mon trip. Là. Yeah, that's well said. Tents are evil. They're bad. They're dangerous. I brought Susan Ravella's Alien and Saturn. We were supposed to set up outside with the alien lights on the tents inside my tent. We were going to make some funny videos. We had time to burn a U-Haul truck and do a couple of other silly things. We had fun. Welcome, my friends. Yeah, that's how it is. Mr. is higher and is buzzing the tower. Oh, I didn't miss him. Right on time. Thank you very much. Will Bruce ever be on National Geographic to unveil his research to the public? Jason, just the compliments and just hearing that from me are trophies. Wouldn't that be amazing? And I'll be honest with you, my head wouldn't be bigger and I would never stop talking to people. And I don't want to change. Just want to keep offering the free research. You know, you don't even have to subscribe to the channel, but like Anika says, we do appreciate it when you do. And I'm just laughing that because the controlling ideal is that if they attack the traffic, it's not encouraging for me since I'm doing this is my only job. I get peanuts and everything that you all give, you know, so it's a lot. But if it wouldn't be for the views here and stuff like that, that's why they're cutting down the traffic and they're eating it like a Pac-Man all the time. Goes down more and more. And when you go on my Social Blade channel, you'll see now he's showing UFOs in the back and he's, you know, how come now? And the bigger the equipment gets, the more I get, the less traffic comes by. And again, it's completely deliberate. Gisèle, ah oui, la cuvée des trolls. Léger, essaye le left blonde. C'est toi qui as mentionné ça, je pense, sur un commentaire à la clou de girofle. Ouh, ça doit être bon, ça. Left blonde. Je vais m'en souvenir de celle-là. Jason, I hope so, man. Jason, thanks for being here, brother. To you and your family, man. Watching mostly Rumble. Norma, 2021. We love you. And thank you, Norma. It's a lot of help for me that you are on Rumble. I don't miss you. You're still here. So, yeah, well, you get the same ads on YouTube, Norma. There's no ads. You'll only get the ads that I put on the video. So in reality, there's more ads on Rumble, though. Rumble, you get the 2 ads right away. But maybe there's a glitch or maybe you were getting more ads. But some people prefer Rumble. But you should be getting the exact same ads on Rumble as you're getting here. But maybe not. Maybe it's less annoying because I only put 1 ad on a 20-minute video. That's the concerning part. 1 15-second ad. You know, sometimes an ad, YouTube can choose an ad. It could be a 5-minute ad, but they're going to have a skip button, you know, for sure. But if you prefer Rumble and Norma, it's encouraging me both platforms. And Norma, I need to grow Rumble. We got nobody on Rumble yet, so that's awesome. In the news, those of you just joining, they're talking about the moon being inhabited with freaking intelligent beings. I mean, I'm ecstatic. That's when I should have kept the troll bottle to have a little celebration. It would have been amazing. I was some family members of some people that came by to go get their stuff, and actually some people, a couple of people were on Alex's family. So a couple of people were able to sleep in it. That was Alex came with the truck and everything. So could have slept. Some people slept in the truck too. Is a hell of a good idea. Think of it. You rent a U-Haul. You got the heat radio in front. You can even shit in a pail if you want. Have to get out of the truck. Just sit in the friggin' U-Haul truck to be able to rent it. But funny to say, my dad died in a truck like that, and that truck that my dad himself had made into a semi camper, you know, back in the days with the little bubble windows at the back. Remember the Econolines? Remember how it used to be, 70s and 80s? Well, if ever I do get an older truck, it will be just that, to go camping with it, which will be really fun. I think you have to like the outdoors. That's why I didn't mind going in the rain. I loved it. The freezing feet part and where it cracked the feet. I didn't think staying 2 days wet would have bothered me. I was just going to stay wet for 4 days, and then the feet started cracking and bleeding. so, so then when that happened, I couldn't step on the underneath of my feet, and it probably made me look freaking tired, but I wasn't. I was just awake. I couldn't sleep. I was completely awake, not being able to sleep. Draconian race. Yeah, a lot of things are the other way around. I made the dinosaur for pets, like big ass dogs. I like that one. I like that one, Kristen. Still listening, even while doing other stuff. Right on, Scratch. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, 10K views on the U-Haul truck. Yeah, it will. You mean already? Could be, but putting that truck, yeah, we got rid of it good. We got rid of it good. Didn't even show it. There was so much water there. We just left it on the lot, and we could only see the top of the truck, basically. Hey guys, a lot of people are like that. Look at me. I got off of Facebook. Facebook is corrupt. I got off of it. Some people prefer Rumble than YouTube. I have good aspirations for. I believe good expectations for Rumble. I believe that it's going to go up. 10,000 users. Could be 20,000. Man, wouldn't be surprised. It'd be funny if U-Haul went out of business tomorrow, and your video goes viral. Amber light in my backyard. Amber. I've seen an amber color. Wow, that's awesome. That would be my likes. Normal. Yeah, kazoo is. Yeah, forgive us staring, eh? Because those are actually sunglasses they wear. You know that, right? They wear that black over top of their eyes. They actually have an eyeball like us. Freaky as hell. Like hentai eyes. Real weird. Yes, Kazoo slept in the U-Haul truck. We wanted to make more videos with Kazoo, but as you can see, he's got blacker eyes than me. He's still very, very tired. Stayed up all night. It was actually very friggin' reasonable. And his son was talking to me about that. He said, you rent that, you pay so much. He'll be able to tell you. You raise so much, you pay so much for your kilometers. And if you don't do many kilometers, if you only go like from, you do, I don't know, 40 or 50 kilometers and you're able to you pay only over 60 kilometers or 100 kilometers. I don't know how it works. Probably be pretty reasonable. I guess you might have to have a deposit or something. I'm not sure about that. They're leaving a truck, right? Yes, Terry. Barry. Absolutely. The little people. 21 watching. Yeah, there's not enough people watching. Yeah, Scratch. Absolutely. That's like me there with the UFO portal here. Everything coming up. So, well, maybe YouTube doesn't like you, LA. I have no idea because I guarantee you, Darla doesn't get any ads on the channel. So if some of you want to say that you're all getting ads and that they're horrific, I only put one fucking ad up on the videos. So if you get ads every 5 minutes, you are hacked. I don't believe you, LA. I honestly don't believe you. You'd have to film it. You'd have to film it. I'll give you my telescope if you get 5 ads. If you get 4 ads on a video, I'll give you my telescope and my research. Because that just sounds like you're trying to trash the channel. I really don't believe it. Thank you, Anika. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Head over to Rumble and subscribe to the channel. Get us up over the mark, I get 0 revenue with ads. And if you were watching ads, LA, I would get a fucking shitload of money with you guys watching ads. That is a fact. That is a fact. Maybe on YouTube, if you're talking about YouTube, you get ads every 5 minutes. You know why? Go look on Social Blade. You'll see how many ads people post on their channels. That's a little secret, right? Like all my big trolls post 35 ads on a 10-minute video because they want all those ads to be seen. They don't actually want people seeing research, but check it out. Go on my Social Blade. The problem is, you just said you get many ads, and if you go on my Social Blade, you'll see one yellow bar on my videos. And that's because I actually go and take off any ads. They used to put 100 ads on my things on the streams. I go take every one of them off. But like I said, I'm the one that puts the ads on here, right? But if it's not monetized, YouTube, all channels. When I go on your channel, LA, I'm going to get ads because YouTube's putting them up. Oh, great. Resetting now. Right. Kelly Faye, thank you very much for being here. And big salut. Azadine, thank you. Merci. En Europe, merci beaucoup. Do you see no sun yet? No sun, brother. No sun yet. Rain tomorrow, big thunderstorm. And the most exciting part of the news, well, actually, no, start by this one. Key senators believe the Pentagon's full of shit. Actually, those are my words. Sorry. Key senators believe the Pentagon's UFO office is lying, is what I meant. Which is good. The interagency battle. Key members of Congress delivered an astounding rebuke to the Pentagon's UFO analysis office last week, doubling down on whistleblower allegations of secret U.S. government UFO programs. Rumors of surreptitious UFO retrieval and reverse engineering efforts have circulated for decades. Recently, by extraordinary congressional interest and legislation, as well as remarkable whistleblower testimony. There's 50 plus testimonies coming on, and a 63-page report, by the way. In March, the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ARROW, the Department of Defense's UFO analysis program, released a 63-page report categorically denying the existence of such activities. Sean Kirkpatrick, the laser professional, ARROW's former director, amplified the reports. He was pushing to hide everything. Totally stupid, right? Amplified the report's findings in a series of combative opinion pieces and interviews. That's exactly what he did, Kirkpatrick. But congressional legislation formally introduced last week represents a remarkable rebuke of ARROW and Kirkpatrick's emphatic denials. Notably, the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 2025 would cut off funding for any activity involving UFOs protected under any form of special access or restricted access limitations that has not been reported to Congress as required by law. So they're not going to get any funding. So as of quite a few months ago, maybe almost a year ago, the secret retrieval program is not going to get any funding. This year, fiscal funding is not going to get a red dime, hopefully. But again, they could be just saying that. They're still going to give them all the money. Congress could be part of it all. Yes, I understand that. But there's no reason for them to have mentioned that. And if you're like me, you must be curious knowing what the hell the other countries are thinking about, why they're not talking. Japan just came out with a UFO report. They're talking about commercial space stations they want to send up all around the world now. We're seeing so many changes happening. But in reality, it's not that it's changes, it's things that were always going on that we're starting to know a bit more about. Like, remember before, they were looking at those UFO lights around the earth and, Space Force or whatnot. They probably do have a spaceship still up there going around, but now they're talking about it. So more and more, either it's, a lot of you have been telling me, well, Bruce, it's really like a soft disclosure where they're going to start mentioning these things. And you guys know, like me, at the end of 30, 40, 50 years, some information, there's still information about President Kennedy that is banned, is blocked, and it's going to be hidden until 2030 and beyond. They do that, right? So that's how they protect themselves. So if it comes out, well, there's a law that they can't talk about it right away. They're going to have to wait. Pelosi, all the shit that came out on Pelosi, they're not allowed talking about. Hunter Biden, who's stuck selling all his guns and dildos now to be able to find a little bit of money for himself. These are all things that are just being paid off by the elites to slow things down, right? They're even talking now about Biden doing a reversal on his charges, which is, it's not even, you can't do that. Okay. It's not even nowhere in the Constitution that you can do that either. I'm pretty sure the presidents have certain powers when certain things happen. If there's a cataclysmic event in the States, like the pandemic happened, well, that is where it started, a domino effect where they had power to stick their nose into the medicine areas now and hospitals and even schools now and stuff. So in reality, martial law is up. And it's just that they decided to do it without posting checkpoints. So it looks like there's no martial law, but there really is. There actually really is. The Intelligence Authorization Act, the fiscal year, would cut off funding for any activity involving UFO protected under it. In other words, despite Arrow's sweeping denials of secret, unreported UFO activities, the Senate Intelligence Committee believes that such programs do indeed exist. They know it. Critically, the legislation released last week, also requires the Government Accountability Office to conduct a review of Arrow. This formal review by Congress's in-house investigative agency is a stark demonstration of the Senate Intelligence Committee's lack of confidence in Arrow. In short, they believe that the Pentagon's UFO office is either not telling the truth about anything with the American public or is not executing its mission effectively. What else? Just out. New York Post hours ago. This is what we're going to be talking about, right? And this is what we've been talking about. So basically, what I was going to tell you, I told you at the beginning of the friggin' stream, we're just too excited. Aliens might be living among us disguised as humans or in a base inside of the moon, according to a new Harvard study. It's like, smile. Right, let me close the window. I'm freezing here. Take over, Kazoo. It's always like that. But I think it's, most annoying freaking Kolak to have. He learned now that when I'm streaming not to communicate with me because he doesn't talk, so he sends ESP messages. Right? He was really happy when he found out I could speak with him. So he's continually sending me messages in my head. Could you imagine these ugly mothers living on the moon? Could you imagine if those buggers are up there on the moon? Well, I think it's pretty much coming out. So aliens might be living among us disguised as humans or in a base inside of the moon, according to new Harvard study. And this is out in all the news. I'm just post after post. New York Post. I know they're corrupt. It's also on News Nation. We're going to read it more from News Nation. I was very happy. The study of Harvard University's human flourishing program further puts forward the idea that UFOs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, may be spaceships visiting their Earth-based alien friends. So that there's aliens living inside of Earth here that are interacting with the aliens living inside of Earth, of the moon, and that day and night they travel and they come down here and they go inside of Earth and they leave inside of Earth and they go up on the inside of the moon. I hope you all know what my next video is, right? I'll be showing the UFOs leaving Earth and leaving the inside of the moon, right? You've seen it before, right? It's my research. That's the amazing thing. And it is a freaking mind-blowing. Let's go directly to News Nation. So this is what I see this morning, and listen, it came out yesterday at 9:00 at night. I missed it because I would have been probably would have done a stream yesterday, guys. News Nation says hidden UFO civilization could be on Earth. Harvard researchers. Study posits UFOs could actually live on the moon. So now you see how things change. New York Post just said they're living in the moon, but that's just what they took and changed the word from what news nation said that they're living on the moon. Do you understand? They're on, in, and around the moon, right? Definitely. As we are here. Study posits UFOs could live on the moon, underground, or in disguise. The not camouflage, the better word is the cloaking device. I don't use device, a cloaking mechanism on the moon. The square structures I show are all smudged. It's like there's gray coloring, chalk or something, a gray dark charcoal crayon that's over the structures, and it's like you wet your finger and you just smudge and make a smudged line, but it remains a square. I see that all the time. And here's another one that nobody ever said. A lot of people say that NASA smudges out some of their photos. Yeah. If some of you think that they're stupid enough to leave that in there, okay. But when they smudge out the images, they're not all smudged out. The cloaking device or mechanism looks like a smudge. So when you go over a square and you see a smudge line, it's the actual camouflage on the surface that is actually also has to do with the light refracting from the surface, reflecting from the surface, and the smokes and hazes. I believe that forms a camouflage around the whole entire moon that hides the surface. But don't forget that if there really wasn't any gravity on the moon, okay, they say 1/6 of Earth. Let's say there's none at all, or it's like they said 1/6. If people are living there, they would have to have that smoke and cloud shielding them from solar radiation, right? The solar winds are pummeling the surface of the Earth. They don't pummel the moon. They don't reach Earth, right? Because they're reflected the same way asteroids don't get in with the belts, the radiation, and the arc that's on each side, except for the two poles that those wings of light on each side of Earth are protecting from solar radiation. Other things like meteors and asteroids. You have no idea how many are smashing into Earth's atmosphere that we'll never even know of because they're actually being pummeled and destroyed by that. So they're not ruling out the fact that they could be coming in from portals. And don't forget, if there are several alien beings or spiritual beings, we could have literal extraterrestrials that are like us, physical beings coming from other dimensions, but we could have angelic beings. And that's even scarier. What's scarier than having an enemy here on Earth? Well, an enemy that we can't see and an enemy that we can't touch. Okay. And an enemy that we can't understand. They definitely understand us. And it only makes sense that now we're really setting ourselves out to go to space. Have you guys noticed all the leaks and all the problems? Like seriously, James Webb telescope scope was smashed by little meteoroids who destroyed the infrared part of the camera. I hope you guys don't think that that's just coincidence. The aliens are going to take control of every satellite that's out there. As a matter of fact, Elon's probably launching daily just because the UFOs and or whatnot are shooting them down. They don't have to shoot us down, right? They can examine what's going on and they can control things and frequencies and whatnot. But you see, that's the problem. We're experimenting with frequencies here. If you think that the 5G and all that, and that it's not being registered outside of Earth, all that frigging crazy communication and frequencies that's going around here, okay, it is being known, right? We're here supposedly sending out messages to space to try to communicate with other beings. It's totally stupid. I don't think that's why they're doing that. I think they've known that they've been here for a while. They want to get rid of the debris around Earth. They've been talking about it for now, I think it's almost 5 years. It's getting annoying. And they're supposed to come up with a whole bunch of means and ways to be able to, get rid of all that debris. So points to sighting hotspots, another thing that we've been talking about on the moon, where entry and exit points for hidden civilizations. I'm friggin' in heaven because, yeah, they're coming out of slits on the moon and there probably are inside of the moon. But when they say inside the moon there, I think they're inside on the surface. They're inside the level and they're just hiding all the transportation on the inside. But not all transportation is hidden because we see a lot of movement on the outside of the moon. It's obscured by all those clouds and whatnot. And this came out on June 11th, News Nation. An unidentified technologically advanced population, guys. I'm blown away. Okay. Don't forget, they didn't have to mention this, right? But now they do, because you could be sure the reason why they were holding back the moon story. Somebody told me, Bruce, they just landed on the dark side of the moon. Are you getting it? Are you getting scared? Yeah, they're going to have to talk about the moon, because I have a hard time believing that Japan, the States, China, the UK, Canada, that, Russia, that they're all going to hide that. Russia can't stand the US. I don't fucking blame them. So why isn't Russia speaking out saying that they're not on the moon? Well, he is. It's just that all this is happening behind closed doors, right? The public's not knowing much about any of what's going on. This is pretty crazy. An unidentified technologically advanced population could be secretly on Earth, right? So aliens are interacting with humans. Oh, this is on the other subject. Oh my gosh, I'll go back to that one after. Okay. Could be living secretly on Earth. Technologically advanced population could be living secretly on Earth and disguising themselves to blend in. So when we say disguising themselves, doesn't mean actually walking here. It could, but it could also mean disguising themselves with cloaking devices and whatnot. The aliens in Las Vegas, they confirmed that 2 aliens were seen on camera with cloaking devices. So it just so happens the cloaking device that I saw was the same effing thing that's on the moon. I'm right, by the way. I just want to declare that. I believe I'm right, okay? The cloaking device on the moon is obscured by that gray and brown material that you see through that looks like just chalk or snow or tree-like areas. And they hide it, whether it be a canopy or not, or whether it be an optical illusion, or some people say that they're using a holographic image to hide the moon. I really don't think so. I really don't think so. And we're not actually seeing the surface, guys. We're seeing way above the surface. That startling claim was made in a new paper by researchers at Harvard and Montana Technological University. You can say what you want about Harvard. I'm saying it all the time, bunch of shitheads. But honestly, there are intelligent researchers there, like Avi Loeb, who is studying the surface. So it's coming down to the sound and X-rays that they want to do. They want to find out what the core is inside of Earth. They don't know it. The core stopped and started turning the other way, by the way. I hope you know that. They're not mentioning it. They're not talking about why that's happened. They don't know why that's happened. They don't know what's on the dark side of the moon, they said. Nelson, NASA administrator, said that not too long ago. They have no idea what's on the dark side. We don't know what's on the dark side of the moon because we've never been to the dark side of the moon. No mention or talk about the thousands of images that Sputnik 1 would have taken by Russia. I think there's a lot of secrecy. And what's the best way to hide truth when the truth is on the internet? They never scrub the truth. They insert a little lie or an intelligent way of making someone believe that, oh, well, maybe, Hey, do any of you remember what I said about Bob Lazar in 216 when I started this research? I believe Bob Lazar, when he said that the aliens were in the Zeta Reticuli star system, that he was actually hiding and lying that they were actually on the fucking moon. I think he knows that. And maybe it can't come out yet because maybe there's certain gag orders or clearances. Don't forget, he was working at Area 51 at the S4 bunker, right? If I'm not mistaken, S4. And obviously, there were things that he wasn't allowed to say. Didn't make any sense that he just came out and said, yeah, I'm back engineering UFOs, and not fear about being killed. So I take that with a grain of salt, that story. But there's still some truth to it, because there must be a lot more people that know about the UFOs and the aliens, right? For Bob Lazar to literally come out and say, yeah, we're back engineering alien shit. There must be a lot of people coming out and talking about that. They're just being hidden, I guess. So by researchers at Harvard and Montana Technological University, information coming out hours ago, they speculate that now you're going to hear a lot of hypothesis, theory, speculation, because they're protecting themselves. They're not going to confirm anything. Speculate that the unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, another term for UFOs, could be living underground on the moon or even walking among humans in disguise. The researchers acknowledge in the paper their hypothesis may be regarded skeptically by the general scientific community. Good, bring it. Open some of these motherfucking eyes. That's what we have to do. But they still deserve consideration in a spirit of epistemic humility and openness. Yes, bring it. UFO whistleblower David Grush interview. What happened since the interview? The paper posits the possibility of crypto-terrestrials. We're going to have to really do a lot of studying and memorizing, all these new terms. But again, don't worry about the new terms. New terms, it could be very well to hide certain things. Like over the years, UAP used to mean a certain thing. It doesn't even mean that anymore. Unidentified aerial phenomena. Okay, UAP turned unidentified aerial phenomena. So another term, UFOs, could be living underground. They changed the UAP term, right? They changed it already from what it means. So say UFOs and we say UAPs, and they change the UFO meaning, UAP meaning. So the paper posits the possibility of crypto terrestrials as an explanation for unidentified and unexplainable observations made worldwide each year. Here are the theories proposed in the paper. So we've had a lot of theories here. We brought a lot of theories up here in the community, all of us, as I have. And when you hear some of these suggestions, I mean, they're all okay except for the one about the dinosaurs. I mean, that one I thought it was a little bit far-fetched. But again, when something sounds far-fetched, we'll have a tendency of not even being interested in it. But I take it with a grain of salt, and I listen to everything and all possibilities. So here are the theories proposed in the paper. Thanks for being here, everyone. How many are watching right now? We're quite a few today. 197. Thanks a lot, you guys. A remnant form. If you guys want to see this yourself, you go to News Nation. And this came out on June 11th, and they're talking about aliens on the freaking moon. So I'm ecstatic about this. A remnant, here's the theories proposed in the paper. A remnant form of ancient civilization remains on Earth. Well, guys, we all talked about that. You guys came here and talked about it before I even started showing the best stuff. A lot of you guys told me that they're also here on Earth. And a lot of you believe that. And again, those of you that don't believe it, it's okay. You could be right. But a lot of you were on the money with that. We're saying that even before I was saying it. Theories. A remnant form of ancient civilization remains on Earth. And I hope you don't hear my chair squeaking. That's fucking annoying. An intelligent species evolved separately from humans and now stays hidden. I mean, that's what we've been saying. Word for word. An intelligent species evolved separately from humans and now stays hidden. That's what they're doing. Crypto-terrestrials traveled from another time period or planet. Absolutely possible. I believe that too. The unidentified creatures are of supernatural origin, quite serious, and likened to earth-bound angels. A lot of you were telling me it was fallen angels. Correct me if I'm wrong. Supernatural origin likened to earth-bound angels sounds pretty much to me like a fallen angel. But again, they could be angelic beings. I've mentioned that they are a spiritual being, but again, I'm talking about the spiritual beings. I believe there's a whole shitload of different lights that are different entities. And I bet you everything in the theory there is the answer is it is a mixture. Yes, there are portals bringing in entities that probably have never entered here. But like in as silly as this, I hate mentioning Star Wars and movies there, guys. You'll never see me do it. But like in Star Trek, it doesn't sound that far-fetched that they could be warp speeding themselves through galaxies and teleporting themselves, quasi-projecting themselves into other areas, right? In reality, it's exactly what they are maybe not doing right now, but it's what they're studying and trying to do. The paper also suggests the ideal of cryptoterrestrials living in or under sighting hotspots such as lakes and volcanoes. My UFOs rising up here near the St. Charles, La Rivière Saint Charles. The researchers propose the influx of sightings in similar areas is due to entry-exit points for hidden societies deep in the earth, Other possibilities for crypto-terrestrial settlements lie nearby, like the moon. I'm fucking happy that they mentioned that for the first time because they never did. Never, ever, ever, ever brought up the moon. You guys know that that's going to bring all the questioning where everyone's going to turn around and question NASA. Well, if they're on the moon, how come Harvard professionals and the studies say that they could be on the moon? And how come NASA's never talked about it? I mean, this is going to come out. Has to. Aliens are interacting with humans, says, of course, retired Army colonel. Why are only the retired colonels and retired people talking about it? Retired defense ministers. A lot of you ask me. It's because when they're retired, they no longer have to respect, clearances. They don't have to go through clearances. They don't have any gag orders or whatnot, and their contracts are often done after so many years. Some people are retired and are still not allowed to talk about their secret projects they were working on for 20 or 30 years. And if they do, they'll be killed. In late 2023, career intelligence official David Grush alleged the United States, and he was right, the United States government has been keeping UFO research programs a secret from the general public. The government has denied claims like Grush's repeatedly, often. The paper delves into the government's response to sightings, adding that many believers feel federal agencies are deliberately downplaying the topic, or at least obfuscating, as we all know, obscuring, right? The extraordinary nature of many UAP related events. So they're also hiding me when I talked about living organisms. I said it in 217, guys. The UFOs looked like some of them are alive. It was easy enough to see. When I saw the surface, I was able over the years to come up with many different theories. When I showed the bases at the beginning, I didn't have that much information to give back to the people. I didn't have as good as theories as I have now because I'm seeing more and more of some of the same thing. Stigma around UFOs must be removed, UAP researchers. So we know that they do want to take the stigma away. And the stigma away, I'll tell you what we have to do. We have to combat the elites. When the elites crash, okay, and burn, then everything is going to come out. Everything is going to come out. Absolutely. Nuremberg trials, we're going to arrest every friggin' one of them, from Ocasio-Cortez, Big Booty Mama, all the way to Fauci, Frankenstein, and everyone that was involved in keeping the secret, right? Because there's a lot of them, quite a few people, peepers. Quite a few people. However, the researchers acknowledge the extraordinary nature of their claims, saying in part, we entertain them here because some aspects of UAP are strange enough that they seem to call for unconventional explanations. So unconventional explanations. Yeah, that does make sense, right? It's actually, because I am no professional or genius, term that I should have integrated more into my work, unconventional explanations, because a lot of, not only me, but a lot of all of us, what we do when we come here, whether you're talking about Anunnaki, whether you're talking about myths or beautiful Indian stories of how the world was created, we have all this incredible information out there, just beautiful story. We don't have a long time here on this planet to understand everything that's going on. Actually, I don't even know why sometimes we try to understand it instead of just living our lives, but it's just so damn interesting. Humans love secrets. We're good at keeping them. We're good at lying. We're good at pretending and faking shit. So now, good luck trying to find out what the government's saying, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're good at faking, lying, and doing a whole bunch of things and integrating lies in everything. Absolutely, 100%. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty incredible. Don't want to linger too much on that, but it sure is, Terry. Yeah, I've been a couple of years also myself off Facebook, scrolling all the way down here, my friends. Thanks for being here. Freeze in the house. CB, just cat. Memories. That's sort of a Carol Burnett thing. Something only my friends are going to know. And no one's going to know where we buried him. No, he didn't want to come. Too bad. We wanted him to come. Anthony Williams. How's it going, brother? Thanks for the comments, man. Dave's Synth 74 is here. How's it going? Didn't see a reply from Hauser after that, but yeah, man. Sorry about the shit that happens here. It seems I have no control over the channel whatsoever. So weird. I got a VPN and I'm getting hacked, so yeah, there's nothing safe. As a matter of fact, you can ask Gary McKinnon. The electrical grid basically doesn't even have a fucking firewall, so I don't think that anything's safe here for sure. Yeah, do we have any birthdays today? Maybe it's your kid's birthday and you want to embarrass him. His friends are watching and you want me to sing him happy birthday or something. Had a nice time, and I got to meet Alex's son also at the camping. Spent many hours in the evening having a lot of fun. He's a very intelligent guy, a hard worker at the same time, and I hope you keep it up, man. Tiens ton bout, keep working hard, my friend, and lâche pas, because you're living in a hard time right now. Everything's expensive. It's hard to get ahead, but things will get better. I noticed Quebec isn't on fire this year. Norma, you're right so far. I could be early though. Yeah, well, exactly. You probably are early, but no, it's true. There's none so far, so they say. Only place to get ads on other people's channels and not BSA is Rumble. See, that's funny, eh? So maybe it's really based on each person on what ads they can get, because not everybody knows when you open a channel. Back in the day, anyways, when I opened it, when I became a member of AdSense, okay, I'm a member of AdSense, and at the beginning, you can open an AdSense channel where the ads will be put on by themselves, and it doesn't have to be you. That's what I chose. So if LA, you're getting ads or whatever here, most are not, but it could be. I'm not going to deny it that some people are getting a lot of ads, but I don't know what to say. All I know is that when I go on a video of Anonymous, I see 85 ads, and I watch that ad every 6 minutes, and I've always done so because it encourages the channels to be able to get revenue. But the ones that exaggerate and put on crazy ads, go on Social Blade, look me up, my little video that's up in the corner. Look to see how many yellow lines you see underneath it. Go see all my trolls. They got 85 lines there. And maybe they don't even know it. Maybe it's a glitch. Who knows? Anthony, that's exactly mine here. I got to blow my nose now. Same thing for me. Give me a sec, guys. So everything that Ross Coulthard has brought to the table, everything Paul Luna brought to the table, everything Tim Burchett, congressman from Tennessee, representative from Tennessee, brought to the table, the Navy commander, the 50 plus whistleblowers, the alien retrieval programs, it's all real. And notice that Ross Coulthard, News Nation, is just touching on all the subjects and titles. We're going to get the information from that. South Korea, a large, massive UFO that is buried too big to be able to dig up. So it's all coming out, guys. There's UFOs buried all the hell over Earth. And you know where they are? Well, easy. Pentagon. Why'd they build the Pentagon there? Maybe there's something underneath it. Why'd they build certain, pyramids? Who says they didn't make those pyramids and say that they're 11, like, I don't know, millions of years old or tens of thousands of years old and everything? Maybe they just fucking built them, Area 51, no fly zones. In Alaska, there's no fly zones. And wherever there's a no fly zone, they can very easily have a base somewhere. And obviously lots of bases in the ground here. Thank you so much, Anika. I appreciate that. You guys and gals can become a patron. And Sandra and everyone, some of you have become patrons. I thank you very much. It's so much help. The contributions and donations here also extremely helpful. I thank you very much. Yeah, I'm waiting for the classified versions of them. Be honest with you, I'm dying for it. Honestly. Je suis une mouche à feu. We had fun. Ça fait du bien lâcher le lousse, man. De rire, qu'on puisse rire. Honestly. And you know what? We were pretty good at controlling that, bro. We had pretty good freaking control with all the cameras that were around us. Actually, we have no idea what happened while we were having fun. May see some of that come out one day. Probably permanently remove. See, that's what happens, Anthony. You know, like me, they're taking shit out all the time. Data, winds, UFO doesn't happen again. Another event doesn't happen again, like the northern light, not northern lights. What am I calling it? The other lights there, the other area. I'm losing it now. If it doesn't happen again, the lights in Chicago or Phoenix lights, Jesus Christ, Phoenix lights. If it doesn't happen again, that's already in a black box. And I bet you there's someone in charge of destroying as much information as they can. Remember Helm, CIA during the order and rule here in Quebec from Maurice Duplessis, in Franklin, Doria Institute, right? Project Paperclip, everything. They destroyed 20,000, 30,000 files. All the names of the kids that were abducted and abused and everything they did in the operations, the lobotomies and everything, that wash their hands off, of everything. Because that's what they do. They destroy information. You can be sure they're doing it now, information. So. Yeah, I look rested. I am. I'm That's why I was able to stay up so long at the camping. Like I said, it wasn't being tired. It was the sore feet. It was having sore bones. But it got to me from sitting in the car for 4 days. Me, what happened is that I had a torticolis, a stiff neck. And it was the whole month because I took the pool out and back. And I went outside, picked up all the heavy rocks, put the friggin' pool out, gave it to the neighbor, and now they're already swimming in it. And then I started landscaping all the terrain and picking up big rocks and moving them. And then I hurt myself. So I went to the camping. I didn't do much. I moved a couple of picnic tables and stuff, but already was starting to hurt again. So what happened is the pain, it's always the way it is. The pain left my neck and the burning ear and back, and it went into my ass, left cheek, sciatic nerve in the left leg. Then I said, oof. So then it was my feet and legs. So I laughed. It was going around. And then, you got to laugh at it. It was hilarious because we still had a hell of a good time. Thanks, Mojo's Mama B. That Cohen Kane, I could have found who in 5 minutes with a sniffing dog and a drug testing. Characters. Yeah, the characters for when you're writing a comment. Yeah, that's another thing that's silly. You can't write. Me, you know what, Norma? I can't answer your comments because I'm harassing the community. I could only answer 1 or 2 comments every 10 minutes on Rumble. If I got 100 comments, I wouldn't be able to answer all the comments. I'm banned from answering comments because they say it's harassing the community. Lots of control on Rumble. And for me, that's hard for me. Like, look at me, Norma, on Rumble. I posted about 400 or 500 videos, and it didn't even give me $20. So if you guys believe that that's true, you can imagine how much money I got with the ads if I posted like 500 videos. $20, seriously? That's crazy. Yeah, they'll send them here too. You're right, Norma. It's just a little early here. Camping starts next week, and so do the storms next week. So as of next Monday, we'll have our first fire. Let me guess, okay? Let's do a little test. I don't know who's going to remember. The fire in Quebec will be near Mont Laurier, okay? The first fires are going to start near Mount Laurier in Quebec, right? And they're going to say it's lightning. Watch, you watch. Monday to Wednesday, Mont Laurier. Why? Well, it's because that's how they have to do it. And then what happens after the fires start? Let me guess, Norma C. In Brazil, it must be really windy these days. They cause a fire, then they cause the winds, and then it spreads it. Then they put people on lockdowns. What a bunch of bullcrap when you think of it. Landlord used a gas pump and her account got wiped out in a different state. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Yeah, they're starting to talk about even what was it? Alex Jones the other day got limited on his gas intake. He wanted to, I guess, put 100 in or something like that, and they told him he could only put in $65 or $75. Gotta wonder what the hell's going on. Hey, Telhar, thank you very much. Hi, guys. Thanks. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in, guys. Sabinator, I thank you very much. My gosh, Cecil. Hey, Rod R has been a member here for 8 months, man. I want to thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. It is so much help. It's a lot, man. Like, people don't realize that. Like, that's a big contribution. And I appreciate it so much, guys. Cecil Lee, thank you so much. Wow, you guys, thanks for the comments. Thanks for connecting. Thanks for being a member. Cecil, you guys, friggin' amazing. How can I complain, right? Facts 1987 says, of course, they are disguised as humans. See, for some of us, it's just a normal thing. Anthony Williams says, Battlestar Galactica, 13 colonies. So basically, they had the right to make movies with the exact truth, but only saying that they're movies. Hey, doesn't that sound like Leonardo da Vinci putting UFOs and extraterrestrials inside of his paintings when he's not allowed to talk about something, but except if it's just a science fiction painting, he should be allowed to talk about it. Isn't that crazy? Okay, I slept. I'm back. I don't sleep for long. Yes, Terry, but it's very important that you have to find out what Harvard's saying. These elite people are the ones that are giving us all the information. But Terry, there's a fight inside of Harvard. Why the frig would Harvard be telling us that there's someone on the moon? Think of it. They're not. They want to stop that information from coming out. But I'm telling you, CIA, DARPA, Harvard, every association, the piece of shit elites and the bloodlines, there's patriots in the bloodlines. They're being blocked. There's black sheep in every family. But when they get more support and help on the outside, there's new groups that are forming, and it's against the elites. The elites are being taken down right now. Another thing that I mentioned years ago that I'm happy is in the news now. Big word that I've been saying. I hope you remember just last stream, I mentioned it, the dismantling of the three-letter associations. It's also in the news. They're talking about that having happened. Now they're on the horn about it. And who was it talking about it? Did I record it? No, not there. No, that's the other twit on my patron that was mad at me. But hey, thanks to the trolls that do pay on my Patreon to tell me to fuck off, because in reality, it's a little contribution at the same time. That's pretty generous. I appreciate it. And no, I didn't see it. So, anyways, the dismantling of the three-letter association is also going on. That is something also that is happening. So they say you will own nothing. It's not going to happen. So absolutely. What about Avi Loeb, Terry? You must know about Avi Loeb. He's at Harvard. Why would they be talking about aliens in the moon? Or not in the moon, but on the surface of the ocean? Norma says, just watch a David Icke video where he talked about we will know we've won when their agenda isn't being pushed anymore. Thank you very much, Norma. See, I needed that. And yeah, I vouch for it. It's exactly what I'm saying, right? Like it's over. We are winning. They're dismantling everything, but it's going to take quite a few years. I would say till about 2026, 2027. And before that, though, now there's already an opening. Uh, Let me tell you that if InfoWars is closing, because they're done, eh? Uh, there's something about that very, very odd story where they're taking over um, the building and something. Like, look at it the way you want. Alex Jones could not have done all that by himself and like own all the buildings by himself. There's partnerships, and I'm just guessing here. Certain people that own buildings. I know his dad's natural products or whatnot. Dr. Jones, his father was a doctor, pharmacist, something like that. Anyways, there's a lot of weird stuff going on at InfoWars, unfortunately, where apparently he's not allowed to continue to talk anymore, or is it true or not? Some people say it could be a hoax or whatnot. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going on? But I think there's going to be a change. Be prepared. He's going on with Tucker Carlson, and he's going to be doing things with Tucker. He's going to be doing things with Elon Musk. I'm just guessing here. Okay, shooting things out there. And again, these are all people you have to take with a grain of salt. I get it. Oh yeah, yeah, it's true, and he is. He really is lifelike. And I'm telling you, all the way down, he's really. He's, it's a cool prop, like the child, like I am, to make some really cool little skits and videos. He was watching Alex Jones yesterday. Made me laugh. I said I got to do a clip of him watching Alex Jones. I also have a clip of him watching some porn and stuff, but I can't put it up. But it's hilarious. He's all bent in and listening to the. Anyways, make some funny clips with that. Yeah, like Norma says, Brazil's on fire. And again, Norma, with the 5G and stuff, they're attacking certain regions of Earth. And I believe that Brazil is definitely a region that they are attacking. What's up, Bruce? Thank you very much. Hey, all. Hi, long time no see. I'm now making my hot dogs for supper. I'm out the chats. Thank you very much, True Cyborg. As always, thanks for being here. I also need to refresh my memory on how it all connects. Yes, Scratch, up and works as intended. I'm telling you, we're all learning together, eh? It will. All the bad is going to stop very soon, guys. So, to come, they could possibly be on the moon, guys. I'm ecstatic about that information. I'm blown away that they brought that to the table. Not surprised. I told you guys several times that the whole secret is what I'm showing on the moon. The research that I'm showing on the moon, guaranteed. Oh, I want to go see if Mr. Piggy. I have some really weird trolls. Do 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 do. Oh, wanted him to hear the noise. Let's see here. Good. Looks like he's on his meds for now. And distraction story is looking. Oh yeah, listen. When they do, yeah, and it's all going to be at the same time. Like right now, all these distractions with other stories. You can bet. Yep. There's something that says they've always been here, going in and out to and from already. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're talking about what I'm talking about, there's a blur. Like nobody knew it. I said since 216, the camouflage, the cloaking on the moon is a blur. And people will look at a certain part of the image and say it's blurred. And no, it's a square building that has a blur on it. It's like people can't see. And I don't know if it's because of my astigmatism or whatever, but I can see things and patterns in images that a lot of people do not. A lot of people can see. It takes a little while for them to see. I've always been like that. That is absolutely true. We have to beware of the false prophets. And like Anthony says, UFO stories usually used when they don't want you looking at other stories. Absolutely. So they're going to come out with a whole bunch of stories and they're going to try to obfuscate, obscure, partly some of the truth, or maybe some programs that, like, for example, maybe they don't give a shit about the UFOs on the moon, but maybe they really don't want us talking about the lights lifting up here on Earth, you know. And if you are new to this channel, I get UFOs every single night on a clear night, rising up from low on the ground. And I'm going to continue filming them. I hope you will take the time to check out the videos. Before I went camping, I got a fast moving UFO. There's the moon I just recently posted that I was able to film last month. So take the time to check it out. It's all recent footage. And you have to go back. I have all the research that I've been doing over the years of all the UFOs. You'll see I often throw that in the videos. How the hell could I not? And I continue. I will all the time. Remember what I told you guys a long time ago? They don't want to share my research. They want to show 500 people an incredible UFO on the moon. Post it every month. Like next month, like the month before, like the month before that, and the month coming. I'll do the same. Meanwhile, they ignore other stories. Yes, absolutely. Right. Fridays, if you're just joining here, Fridays we stream twice. It's Eastern Montreal time when I talk about the time. So at 1 o'clock p.m. is the first stream, and then we stream at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I may have a name of a channel that has the best ideals on what gravity actually is, in my opinion, which isn't worth much, lol. Try Theoria Apophysis. He's a very clever fella. Thank you very much, Scratch. Leah, thank you. Thanks for caring about my channel, guys, and the research, and thanks for sharing out the links, mods, over the years. You guys absolutely rock. How do you feel having endured me 2 hours since I've been camping? I really miss you guys. Honestly, this was the first time I took days off to do the research. I mean, obviously, I'm a human being. The house gets horrible. It's your fault, guys. All of you, it's your fault that I live in dust because I am so concentrating on this. But if I had a woman in the house, I hope you guys know there would be only 3 videos a week because I'd have to actually clean for the poor girl, right? I'd have to be dust, or how many times I'll get up, jump in the shower, and then just sit down. I let my grass grow long. And why? Because I love being here. And I love that we're a good group of people that support the channel that are interested. Even though it's not growing, it should grow, but it's okay. And the most important is that we have so much friggin' fun here when we come to the channel. Let's see, did the subs go down? Oh, yes, we're back down to 0.3. Trolls, it's a little lame. I thought you had more power to like drive me down under 100,000 or something. Because if you get me under 100,000, that plaque I got is going to magically go back to YouTube. Oy, oy. Yeah, where's Grip? Maybe he has a grip or something. Grip Ripper. I don't know. Maybe our grip's not feeling too good. Have to believe it will. Again, most people don't want to know, but I'm hoping that what Cliff reports, our solar system rising above galactic center, is true. Good luck with that. Who knows? You watch, Norma, when my research comes out. Space related and how light actually works. Very interesting. That's what I thought would happen, LA. And what I found out is that the ones that are believed to be whistleblowers are the ones that are, hiding shit. Absolutely hiding shit. Oh, yeah. Magnetism. I'm your guy, guys. I know a shitload about magnetism, boy. But some people specialize. Scratch, that's the beautiful part. We each, Big Daddy C, thank you. We each study in our own fields, right? And I'm doing a lot related to my research and stuff like that, but you can't know it all. You can't know it all. I'm telling you, we have to take the time to look at others, what they have to say also. Absolutely. Because see, Norma, I don't know if you remember, but something happened with that person with me, eh? That's why I never mentioned that person. And some of the people I have problems with here on my channel, when some of you come and say, hey, why don't you head on over and see a certain person? I don't talk about it. So if ever I tell you that I'm not interested in a certain person and the person you find is a nice person, maybe something happened. And that's what happens with me a lot. A 110 on X, I will definitely take it. I recall Norma C says, Cryon discussing a photon belt 20 years ago. Interesting. Absolutely. See, that's the thing. None of us, none of us um, are doing the same thing, actually. Sure, there's people that would get together, like, and whatnot. I would get together with a whole bunch of people, right? But the thing is that my research is unique. It's exclusive. There's nobody in the fucking world that is showing what I'm showing on the moon. And for me, I cried many a times. It was emotional for me. It changed my bloody life. I've been seeing light since I've been young, communicating with spirits, poltergeist in the house. And you know what the beautiful part is? Nobody knows. We're only voices. So no matter what the hell happens to you, no matter what happens to you, it's still only a story somebody's going to hear. So I could tell you that yesterday 20 spacecraft landed in my yard, but that they were invisible and nobody could see them, but I touched them all. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to believe me. Most people won't. And that's what I find beautiful about the ghost world, about the other side, about other dimensions. Their secrets are hidden. So it's like they're a bunch of pervs, right? They're all coming in from portals and they're peeking at us and stuff. I mentioned it on a radio interview with Carol Lozé on 96.9 FM radio. I had a chance on top of it, my research, to get on and do an interview on the radio. Well, more of joining in the conversation. And I told them live on the radio, which was cool, 100,000 listeners, and a lot of laughs in the studio with Carol Lozé. I said, I get up in the middle of the night by myself to go for a piss, and I put pants on because I wouldn't walk around naked anymore. You're not alone. It's to that point. It was an exaggeration, right? Without being paranoid, but just goes to show how you're always being watched. There's always someone around you watching you, right? A lot of people misinterpret terms. Created in his image. Everything on this planet has a perception. We're all created in his image. So God can be a grasshopper. He can be an ant. He can be a cow. God can be a lizard. God can be an alien. God can be what's written in the Bible is so beautiful that you cannot see him, and he's a bright, blinding light. What's the difference, though? I never understood the difference. And that person that had attacked me on the Patreon, respect to you, brother. I'm not going to ever give your name out. But that person that attacked me on the Patreon channel that said, you're not a Christian. I said, of course I'm not Christian. I'm fucking Bruce. I like playing with their minds a little bit. And the person was mad because I said that, imagine if God was a wizard. But, these ignorant pretend religious people that said, you said God is a wizard. I wanted you to cross over with me in the end, and you're not going to be with me. That's right, buddy. I'm not going to be with you because you're going to be in hell. God never asks you to harass your neighbors and to stick their noses in the Bible. You know what that's going to do? God's looking at you and he's saying, you're making people hate my love. You're making people not know about me, and you're making people think that it's a forceful thing to believe in God, right? When it's not. God gives you your own freedom of will, but created in the image of something. Your God, our God, if there is a God, can be alien, and we could be created in the image of that. He has two eyes. I have two eyes. We both could have been created from the same source. right? And all these creations, if you look at everything on Earth, okay, I guess not everything has eyes, right? There's some bats use radar, but they still have freaking eyes. But there could be some in the bottom of the ocean that don't have eyes. I get it because they don't need eyes, right? So if you're living in an area, if we didn't have to drive around or walk around, do you need eyes? You probably won't have any. It's just that's the weirdest part. It's not weird. It's fascinating. Well, it's fascinating weird. It's just incredible. We could all have been, grown in test tubes and in labs. And what is wrong with the theory that God could be an alien? It doesn't take away from anything religious. It's just like, wouldn't religious people believe that somebody could have lied about the friggin' Bible? You know, no, because some of them believe that God wouldn't allow that to happen. Well, be careful. I'm not even religious, and I know that God says that you have free will. So if you want to go to hell, you can go to hell. He allowed friggin' Satan to leave heaven. You're not going to tell me that he didn't have the power to say, no, you're going to stay right here, little bitch, and you're going to stay here, and you're going to listen to me, and you're going to follow my orders. Well, because maybe it's not exactly what we thought, all that creation. Where a lot of people that I talk about that are religious, that it's just he's the ruler, he's the creator. He created. Is he ruling? He created. He made everything happen. A lot of people look at God as being the universe, and it's one that I love. I love the science side of it with God. I love the spiritual side of it, the ghostly side. I have respect for people, all the Indian tribe stories about who God is. You guys, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I think that God is all of that. I think that everything that we can imagine God is. But I'm open-minded enough to tell you that God could have 75 eyes and look scary, like have hairy, scaly arms and stuff like that. But when I say that, especially back in 216, it's an automatic insult for anyone religious. I want people to open their minds. I want people to be open-minded about it. Everything's a matrix. Everything is fake shit around us. So if you believe in God, he does exist. Allow him to continue to exist in your heart. It's as a matter of fact, that's probably what's keeping you fueled. Go for it. Go for it. And I'm still not saying that it's not a possibility that they exist. But you know what? I think you can agree with me that humans need something to believe in to live. But I for the first time, I evolved enough to be beyond that point now. I know pain exists. I know death is inevitable. It's going to happen, but death in the physical world. So we all know that our lives continue on. I have very close friends here in the community, Christy and Pat. They evolve. For her, it's not a loss of a child. It's that the child is at a further away stage, and I can't physically talk necessarily the same way, but the soul never dies. And I'm not religious, you can say, but maybe I am because I love talking about the soul. I don't mind talking about spirituality, but I just use common sense. I don't use Bible passages. I love people who study it. My brother studies it so much. Jason John Swartz, he converted to Christianity. Good for him. But why would people spit on anything that anybody does, no matter what your religion? Even the ones that come here that are atheists, I got nothing but respect for you all. Nothing but respect for you all. It's not everyone like Terry said. I mean, probably will never, ever completely get along entirely. And there's also interpretations that you must know that someone will leave me a comment, and I get a lot of comments. Well, not enough, but a lot of comments. And sometimes I look at a comment and I go, now that person could be really mocking me and insulting me, but that could be a compliment. Like, words, right? Words, we have 26 letters in our alphabet. What if there were 32 before? What if there were a lot more letters in the alphabet, like hundreds of letters in an alphabet? What if there were a lot more terms and words? We're taught high and low, up and down, left and right. What if there's more than just the up and down, left and right, and diagonal? What if there's something through dimensions? I mean, call me stupid. I'll sit here and I try to analyze it. I try to understand it. And I say, so the other dimension is actually where I am right now. I just can't see it. But I believe that we're all in the same plane. So a lot of people look at the universe being vast and expanding. It is, but I think it's expanding like in a cup. It's all in there. So every single dimension is crossing over each other, and that's how it's holding. The magnetic field lines of all the dimensions are sitting on top of one another. And the lower the dimension, the more dense it is, maybe the more hot or cold it is. And the higher the dimensions are, the more leniency we have of moving around like physical worlds. Maybe there's different physical worlds where semi-physical world and stuff. We don't know about that because there's no terms that exist. Bruce, semi-physical doesn't exist. And you're right. But why? Why doesn't a semi-physical galaxy or dimension exist? It does. And it must, parallel worlds. And anyways, it just becomes so bloody interesting. I'm telling you. That's interesting. Facts 1987. Um, James Webb Telescope is really the sun sim. I believe that. I believe that. Could possibly be. Yes. Gene decode. It's the decoding of genes. Absolutely. Thank you, Anika. I do have pictures of moon. If you want a moon base on your wall as a poster, you can go to the Pictorim. They're in all the video links except for the streams. You can go and click on it by curiosity to see what the sinus iridum base looks like. And you can buy it as a poster. It's a hell of a conversation piece on the wall. But do you know that there's even, oh, by the way, I am hacked, by the way, because the mouse moving on the sides of, my screen, I've been seeing it a lot, a lot. And you know what? Luckily, and thank you, hackers, I have a hacker that is, I think, a professional one that is doing surveillance. So, being a hacker, Gary McKinnon says it himself. It's a very boring job. You're sitting there, scripting, or you're looking at stuff. I know a lot about the hacking, absolutely know a lot about it, but you get caught with your own number, right? So, but definitely, I can see the mouse moving and being controlled. And when I went camping, well, there's a couple of more hacks that occurred because I was not here for 4 days. And some programs take many hours to be able to work. So if I get on every 8 hours, it must piss off the trolls because there was never 24 hours where I'm not on. And I noticed that here's another funny thing. When the electricity goes down and the cable is bummed out here and they have to change the wires, when I come back online, my videos have 80,000 views. The last time I went down for a couple of weeks, that was a couple of days, 80,000 views on the last video. And the minute I came back on, all the views stopped. It's like, think of it. For somebody to hack my channel, I have to be here. I have to be online. And if my connection here is down, the cable's down, will that person be able to hack? And it could be. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I am no hacker, by the way. So, of course, I'll be saying some stupid things, but I'm telling you. Yeah, and I tried LA, so there are no whistleblowers that are ready to bring out truth about the moon, and that's what I realized. I'm the only one showing what's up there, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how good NASA's videos are. Uh, Probably about like mine because there's only a certain amount of you have limitations when you're filming through atmosphere. Why? When James Webb Telescope, and before I get off here, James Webb Telescope showed the furthest away galaxies ever seen before. Why were they so freaking blurry? Well, because it's far away and it's blurry and they still wanted to show it. But when we show something blurry on the moon, the people are like, why is it blurry? Nothing's blurry. You look at the whole moon. The whole moon's in focus. And you have a spot where there's a blur. Why would that be? It doesn't make sense. Cameras don't work like that. There shouldn't be only a certain blur on the moon, right? Hey, thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by the channel. Yes, exactly. But I think it's all going to change. And again, I could be wrong, but you know what? I think it's all going to change. I want them to expose the moon. I told you all that they're going to back up to 2027, and they did. That's another thing I predicted. And do you remember what I predicted at the same time? I said they're going to back it up to 2027, the moon landing. And in 2026, 2027, when they get to the time for them to go up, they're going to set it back to 2030. Okay, mark my words. You can't go to the moon. They're not going to go to the moon. They won't. There's already somebody living there going to the moon. Are humans interacting with aliens? I believe so. I know so. But you know what? It's not like an alien and a human sitting at a table having a conversation. It's that there was a contact, there's several contacts, the higher ups. you know, one would know the language is probably a universal language, or look at it as stupid as it is. Nobody realizes that if other galaxies are still just using English, French, Spanish, and all the languages we have here, we'd be pretty much able to communicate with everyone, right? You're not going to tell me nobody thought that we're going to need a language of communication, but there's different ways of communicating. So I think that the implication of humans and aliens is not that they're both sitting in a UFO together, like, come on, Chewie, let's go and I never watched Star Wars. I was with my dad in the 80s when I watched it. I don't remember it. So Chewbacca, stupid ass with the human. I don't think that's what's happening. Okay, I I think that they're driving around humans with humans and aliens with aliens, but the humans that are with the humans know that they're going to encounter ships from aliens elsewhere, and they're probably not even very, very friendly with us. As a matter of fact, all these possibilities coming up. It's like, I want peace everywhere. It's another thing. You know, you can't have a human in a vehicle that's moving like that. Except, was it you, Anthony, that talked about inertia? I caught on this time. Absolutely, man. You know, listen, you know Anthony, right? I'm no genius, but it's maybe a primitive way of saying it. But the propulsion systems that they're inventing, there's so many ways that they can do it, right? They don't have to do it with hoses. You got water propulsion systems. You have plasma propulsion systems, nuclear propulsion systems, because they do want to go nuclear, by the way. But the aliens are buzzing their nuclear facilities. They're not going to be able to do big explosions here because apparently, from what I heard, it's affecting other dimensions. When we explode a nuclear bomb or atomic bomb here, in another dimension, there's going to be an effect, a problem where it ricochets, and maybe that's all these waves that we see going around, you know? So, yeah, exactly. Some people are into their thing, eh? Right on, Facts 1987. Oh, Leo, thank you so much. Hey, it's my music channel, guys. Bruce's Music. If ever you are interested, I'd like to grow the channel there too. You know why? I want to fund my research. And aside from these beautiful donations and contributions that I'm getting, if I can put some ads up on my music channel and create my own music, eventually every year I'll go up a couple hundreds, couple hundreds. I'm just trying to maintain here. So come back, keep coming back, guys. Watching the videos, it's helping me a lot. Justin Branch, good morning, crew. Thank you very much. Thanks, Leo. I can't verify any of this, but I think Bruce is not the only sincere person out there. Oh, I'm positive I'm not the only sincere person out there. There's you, Normacy, another sincere person. The thing is, my friends, the UFO story, I sounded like George Costanza there in that episode where he says, the sea was wild that day, my friends. Well, Norma C, let me tell you that in the UFO community, there are most of the people are there in um, in other groups to be able to stop the truth from coming out. There's a lot of jealous researchers. There's people that do more like a not a heliophysics. What do you call it? Um, a pseudoscience or something. It's more like an expression of something. Because me, somebody that comes to me that talks about the center of this, of the chakra that's aligned with the mantor that comes down the pole of the dimensions, that for me is a load of freaking bullshit. Nobody knows about anything. You want to explain something to someone? Talk about a moon, a light leaving the moon coming to Earth. Never bullshit with the chakras and alignments and numbers and numerology and stuff. Sure, I'm into that. Sure, I'm into that, but I'm not. You must notice that I don't add that in my research, right? Like people ask me, like, Bruce, how far is the sun? I said, I don't know. They say it's millions of miles. It's one astronomical unit, right? That's what they say. But is it true? I don't know. I have no idea. But most people here in the UFO community are here to tarnish the names of the ones bringing out the truth. And there's a whole slew from MUFON, Gaia, and you go across the big shitty soup of stew, rotten stew, where all the people are getting dibs on showing everything, but they're not showing any proof. Why doesn't Linda Moulton Howe, just to make things debatable, why doesn't Linda Moulton Howe talk about David Grunt? Or maybe she does. I just don't follow her. Why aren't they talking about research of any other people that are seeing things on the moon like me? Why don't they talk about the possibility, Bob Lazar and stuff? So it's just, you got Luis Elizondo who comes out and then everyone forgets him. Then Bob Lazar comes out. So we got one group, like a lot of you are still interested like me with Bob Lazar's story, but then some people don't believe him. Then some people actually despise some of these people. So we can never get along on anything, I'm telling you, it's hard to get along on these subjects. Are you mad at me, Norma C? I hope not. I can't come out and directly say what I'm trying to say to you, Norma C. You have to see it for yourself. But be aware of the trolls. They're all over you, by the way. They're all around you. All of you. The trolls are all around you. And be aware of the fake channels. Be aware of the channels raking in money, just shooting up bullshit there. Because, like, honestly, some of them are friggin' flakes, some of the things that they're saying. So thanks again, Justin. Absolutely, Norma. Completely debunked. The biggest liars. How are you, Cecil? Yeah, Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon. And we have, what's his name, Dice in there. Gets mad when everybody says, Pink Floyd said it's the dark side of the moon when it's not dark. Of course it's not dark. Bright as friggin' hell. That's how it is. Yes. Yeah, it hits hard. I've had it smack me a couple times, Terry. Reality has hit me a couple of times in the face, and you're like, oh my goodness. Pretty crazy. Wow. Telhar, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks, you guys. It's amazing. Cecil Lee. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Big Daddy C in the house. There's so many people discussing how the alien agenda is progressing, says Norma C. I could believe it. And have hope for it. Absolutely. Scratch says they are UFOs to me. See, that's another thing, eh? A lot of people, the lights that we're seeing are UFOs. For me now, there are several things because I believe that I've caught different captures and whatnot. So, oh yes, they are definitely beyond sad. Telhar, thank you so much, guys. And you guys are amazing. Crypto Beehive, Bitcoin will be the money of Earth to use between planets. I like that one. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. But another thing I've talked about a lot before I get off here is that there has to be a money system or bartering system, right? You know what a barter system is, like with silver and gold that they had back in the day. There's got to be some type of bartering system. But what I think it's that it's an absolute aliens are permitted to be inside of Earth, but they're protecting us, guys. The aliens would never let another alien race come here. You know why? Luckily, aliens need Earth. So often aliens are protecting Earth, but it's not because they want to protect humans. They want to protect their planet. But again, they must be civilized enough. I'd like to hope that they wouldn't want to harm us, right? Why would an intelligent race want to harm another race? That would make no sense. Apocalyptimist, love it. Love that. I think it's all going to shit, but somehow it will all be okay. It really will, Norma C. I believe it. I believe it will be okay, guys. It's coming out. You guys actually believe there's a pandemic where they're going to kill everyone and that everyone's just going to wait till the world is empty? No. It's not. That's not happening. Ancient humans that we've evolved from. I tend to linger around that one. I do. I linger around that one. Like from this to that. And there's also a theory out, even Ross Coulthart was talking about it, even David Grush, quasi-projection, where that's another one, right, guys? You know that? Apparently, they teleported from the future. Do you know that? They're talking about, the government's talking about this. The people here, them, okay, wherever they look like, are here, and it's us evolved from many, many hundreds of thousands of years from the future in other dimensions. And they're coming back to warn us about something. There's another one that is just exceptionally interesting. There's no two ways about it. Have Shaman not told us this for millennia? Hey, Kelly Faye, you're right about that. You're right about that. Yes. Haven't all the conspiracy theorists been right? Yeah, all of you guys and gals talking about Nibiru or that there's people on the moon before I was even doing research. It's been many years people have been talking about it. How come? How do they know that? Because they're not stupid. I believe it 100% genetic manipulation. 100%. Oh, yeah, Anthony. Ghosts and angels interact. The ones that I've been interacting with, I believe they're angelic. You see how it's sparking a lot of emotions for us all, because we're talking about this shit, guys. It's just crazy. What about the evolving from intelligent dinosaurs? I'm not there yet. I'm definitely not there. A lot of you say, what if, Bruce, do you believe the moon is a reflection of Earth? No. But I don't deny it, but I'm not there yet, because we have different ideas, right? All different ideas. Yeah, we will be okay, guys. Oh, no. I'm not talking about those, though, Anthony. What I'm talking about is when a shadow or light appears before you. Like, for example, the lights that are not physical. It could be a light being, or it could be an angelic being or ghost. My mother says the ascension. She says the living is now going up to heaven. Judgment day is approaching, the way I look at it too. But I do believe they are supernatural. One of the entities that we're seeing. But the problem is, are entities, ghosts, and spirits and goblins and demons and lions and tigers and bear, are they all interacting with aliens? Or are aliens coming in here, the physical world, and is the other side, is space just emptiness, vastness of nothing? Is it just dark matter? I know they say it's 90% dark matter, but in reality, don't forget, dark matter is just because they gave it the term dark matter because we can't physically see dark matter, because it mustn't be black. It must be of another essence or color, obviously. In essence, that was a very interesting thing when Greer said that aliens are coming here in essence. There's a reason for that. And it's what fascinated me the most was that. So they've been telling people, even in the UFO reports, not aliens, UFOs are here. They're not talking about them entering our realm. Maybe when they enter our realm, we see them as light. Maybe when they come here, they see us as bright lights. And maybe that's why they're wearing sunglasses. Maybe they're wearing sunglasses because they travel beside the sun all the time and they have to be able to see. Anyway, theory schmeary, right? We can come up with a whole bunch of them. Well, I kept you on here long enough, I think. I mean, taken care of. If one day aliens show up, I'll probably tell them to go away, and then I will regret it. Yeah, but Norma C, that's the beautiful part. Maybe you will have been right to do it. Like, maybe they're going to come here and say, well, I don't know, Bruce. Maybe they're not all good. Well, I know they're not all good, actually. But I'll tell you what, if there is an entity going to see you and you're not a bad person, it might be a good entity, a protector. I have one protecting me. I have one that has saved me several times. And tears in my eyes, as God is my witness. Let lightning strike me right now. I swear to God, I have a protector, and I've been saved before, and I do get messages, and I do communicate with beings on the other side. And again, I'm not here to dress up, shave my head, and to be prophetic and to push people to watch the research. As a matter of fact, I sort of am a bit honored the fact that the research was blocked. And in reality, maybe it was something very serious that I was able to see, and it's affecting national security also in certain ways. I really want to thank you all for stopping by. Those of you that take the time to subscribe to the channel too, I also greatly appreciate it, because we do not get many subs here. We'll be locked again. So we went up to 102,000. We will be there at Christmas, 102, maybe 103. So notice that. You'll see if I go a whole year without getting subscribers, because we should be, well, you could also ask the Spanish people. They see 200,000 subscribers here. People that come here from Spain, and they don't understand why I say that I only have 100,000 subscribers. They see a lot more. So who knows, you know? Well, you see, you know what? You know what the beautiful part is? I'm not a movie guy, and I'm not a guy who ever looked up the Anunnaki, nothing. I'll be honest with you. Don't give a rat's ass. Never looked them up at all. Couldn't tell you where the ideal came from. I know a lot about it because from what people are telling me, but my research is based on my focused ideas on truth and real science, because there's a lot of stories and myths, and some people can say, Bruce, you filmed Nibiru. Bruce, it's the Blue Kashina. Yeah, okay, I get it. But I hope that you appreciate I never presented my research as that. Never said, look, I filmed Nibiru. Look, I filmed the Blue Kashina. I say a planet-sized object going by the sun, and people laughed. But I did film it. And somebody says, you're an ass. Why did you only film it once? It proves you're fake. No, actually, I only filmed it once, and I probably should never have had the chance to see it, but somebody's guiding me. Do you know when I filmed that object crashing on the moon? You all know that the telescope was shaking. I had just set up. I went on, turned the telescope, and it was shaking. Stopped shaking. Boom! Object crashes on the moon, and telescope goes off. That's luck or coincidence or not, and it happens all the time. So they're hanging out at home here. Exactly. We think we need to know everything now, but that is not true. Not sure, but I know there's nothing new created. It's just our time. So, I like that ideal. In other words, everything that's been creative, or anything sort of, maybe not without putting words in your mouth, anything that we could have thought of, it's because we either went through it, or that it's already part of the gene pool, or the brain, or that it already happened in parallel worlds. I believe um, that something new can be invented that even God did not create. That's where I'm at, Terry. You see the difference with me and a lot of people is that I believe that God is le tout puissant, the creator and stuff, but you're not going to tell me that we can't recreate a demigod or be demigods, or maybe we are demigods. And it just makes a lot of bloody sense. We were maybe even sorcerers or magicians back in the day in magic. If any book in this world is dominating, indoctrinating you, or forcing you not to speak about certain events that could happen, like, for example, why do religious people feel it's an insult to say that God could be an alien? Is it written in your Bible that God's human? No. And God's friends are pretty fucked up, eh? With his best friend is just a set of eyes with two wings, right? He also has friends that have several heads, and lion heads and stuff, and Medusas, and I can imagine a whole bunch of people that he has all around him. And anyone here right now, and I'm not religious, that is going to tell me that that's not true, I will embarrass you so quickly. The same way I can embarrass people with talking about the Quran. That's not true. That's not in the Quran. Oh, yes, it is. But there's books that are left out. Religions, Catholics, priests, left out books. They won't go to books of Enoch. They don't talk about the Maccabees. They don't go to the Old Testament. Why? Oh, well, that's the Old Testament. Don't read the Old Testament. Everyone's always told me, don't read the Old Testament because God's too mean in that one. What? So it's been changed then. So the Old Testament was made with the New Testament to be less mean? No, they interpreted the meanings, translations, meanings. Okay, so an Arab translated for me, the English person, that God did that, And on top of the Arab not believing in Jesus Christ is going to do the translations for what Jesus Christ did and stuff. It's a load of bullshit. The carbon dating's all off. We can't carbon date anything. Stone can't be carbon dated anyways. And, yeah, a real shit show, I'm telling you. Well, yeah. Well, listen, God's there. And we're curious people, as God's curious too, because we're created in his image. In its image or his image or her image. God could be a woman. I never discriminated that. I told my mom at a young age, God could be a woman. Gary McKinnon asked his mother if Noah's Ark was a spaceship. Why would people do that? Why do kids do that? Because they're visited? Because they were elsewhere before? Well, guys, I don't know about you, but for me, this was really interesting. I thought this was absolutely very, very interesting. I thank you all for stopping by. I'm going to get off now because I kept you on here for 2.5 hours. And I love you all for having stuck by. Thank you very much, everyone. Listen, guys, if you just got here and you're looking for truth and you want the moon to be exposed for real, look at the research. If you find the research is real and you notice there's not much traffic here, well, you understand why. So keep coming back and keep the small community going. Thanks, everyone. So again, I'm back from camping. More videos will come up. I'll try to be outside tonight and filming more UFOs and more to come. Thanks for the incredibly generous contributions, everyone. And if you're here visiting today and you came by just to say hello, it's an incredible contribution. I want to thank Luke, Elias, all the members, Jules, Pat for being here. Darla, thank you so much for the 2 beautiful donations. Sabinator for gifting out memberships, as you've done many times. Thank you so much. Sisu Lee, thanks for the 2 contributions. Rod, thanks for being here, brother, for 8 months. Telhar, thanks for the great contributions. It's so much. And again, Sisu Lee, I love you guys. Talk very soon. Thanks for the comments. I'll be up early tomorrow morning, as I always am, with the coffee and answering comments and posting tomorrow's video. Bye, guys. Thanks, mods. I love you guys.